You ready to do this, Matt?
Yes, sir. Punch it, Chewy.
Welcome, super friends, to the Fortress of Nerditude podcast, a safe place to talk about all things in nerd and pop culture. I'm Spencer Stapleton, and my co-pilot is Matt Shaw. We're two nerds that just refuse to grow up. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 186. We release every Thursday morning. You can find us on the website, fortofnerd.com. We have links to iTunes, Google Music, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, basically everywhere podcasts are available. Stop by and relax a while. If you like what you're hearing, you can smash that subscribe button and get us automatically each and every week in your ear holes. Now, super friends, here's the deal. This week is different once again. Instead of just being Matt and I, we have another special guest here in the Fortress of Nerditude. I have called on a good friend of mine, Mr. Tim Rauter from Married to the Games, to join us and be a part of tonight's episode. Tim, welcome to the Fortress. How are you, my friend?
I am good, brother. I am
Nice.
super good. I am so thrilled to be here, man. Thank you so much for having me. And I know it was a little last minute. I know, Spencer, you were like, could you pop on Monday at say 9:00? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. So for you, the world, my man, for you, the world.
Oh,
But
you are
yeah.
the best, Tim. You are the best.
It is awesome to be here. I love this, and I love nerding out because I don't get to do it much. I mean, I get to do it with my boys from Married to the Games, but
right.
But I'm doubling up on my nerdiness this week, which is amazing.
Nice. So tell the super friends a little about yourself. What do you do? You're married, you got kids, what's in your world? What's your life like?
Yeah, no worries. So my name is Tim Rauter. I am 45 years old. I'm a 45-year-old man-child, basically. I live in just south of Nashville, Tennessee, in Franklin, Tennessee. I have a beautiful wife, Lauren, who I've been married to for 21 years. And we have an 8-year-old daughter who's crazy named Piper. And she runs the roost here, and we love her to death, and she's wonderful. And so that's basically been most of my life, for especially now with the whole COVID thing and everything that's happening. She and I have been very close and in doing the whole homework, the homeschooling thing, and just so much fun. So glad that's over. So now we're just hanging out, and unfortunately, she doesn't have any camps this summer either, so we get to hang out some more. But
so you gotta find stuff to do then.
Yes. So we're getting there. We're trying to do some fun stuff about it. I haven't really introduced her too much into video games. We do have a Switch. She does love Mario Kart.
Nice.
So that's a good start. So we'll start from there.
Yeah.
I'm not pushing it. If she wants to do it, that's great. But she plays Minecraft on her iPad and that kind of stuff. So we have a little bit of nerdiness introduced at this age, but we'll see where it goes. I'm not hopeful, but you never ever know. So, but yeah,
you got her into sports though. I mean, she loves hockey.
Yes, she does love the Nashville Predators, which is awesome. We've gone to many games. A buddy of mine has season tickets, and he's very gracious and knows that Piper loves hockey. And it's like, hey, I got extra tickets this day if you want to go. Of course, that's not happening now. But
sure,
But yeah, she really got into hockey. Her main things are she loves cheer. She started cheer last year at our gym, at the Williamson County gym here. She cheers for the Wilco Wildcats, which Wilco is short for Williamson County. And she's a flyer, which she's the one that they push up into the air. So she's standing on people's hands, and she absolutely loves it. She has found kind of her sports passion, which I love for her. It was soccer. I was the assistant coach. Me and a buddy had coached soccer for the past 4 or 5 seasons and had the same girl team for the past 5 seasons as well. And she loved that. And it was more of a social thing for her. And our team was terrible, but it didn't matter. We all had a great time. Like
Nice.
that was the beauty of it. It was more of a social thing. Like most of these kids were not winning any women's World Cup. They're just here to kind of hang out and be together. And with that, the family, the moms and dads too, we got to know very well as well. And so some of those branched out into good friends of ours as well that we continue to hang out with outside of soccer. So that's fun. It becomes more of a social thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So I live in just south of Nash Vegas, Tennessee. I'm a web developer by trade. I actually concentrate a lot of my web development with films. I work with Sony and Lionsgate and that kind of stuff. There is a big faith and family kind of industry here where we've got several directors that are and filmmakers in this area, and they produce more kind of faith and family driven films. There's a movie that came out 2 years ago called I Can Only Imagine. We just released another one in March called I Still Believe. And, I've also worked with Fox in the movie Breakthrough with Chrissy Metz from This Is Us. And
cool.
so I do like the website designs. I do some of the online marketing assets like email newsletters. And I'm kind of like an on point online person. I work with the social media team, and we do all kinds of nerdy stuff there and do retargeting and all kinds of fun stuff.
So working from home for you has been pretty easy.
Oh yeah. This whole shift was actually kind of glorious because it's like, oh, okay, I can just stay home. Because typically what I would do is my wife owns a retail store here in downtown Franklin. It's called Rock, Paper, Scissors. It's a stationary wedding events party store. And as of the past 3 years, she's really kind of taken into the whole balloon. There's like a lot of balloon art and balloon garlands that you can do. And she sells those big 36-inch balloons. And she is absolutely crushing it during this whole time, which is so great for her because, people still have birthdays. And so what she's been doing is, when we were secure in place, she could still go to the store and make all the balloons, and then people would either pick up or we have a van too for the store, and we would deliver them. And so 10-year-old parties, and like we bring these balloon like this whole balloon collage and everything, and that's kind of my job on Saturdays now. We call that Balloon Boy Saturdays, where I get in the van and, like for instance, Mother's Day weekend, I had to do like 14 deliveries around Franklin in one day. And it was crazy. But you know what? I would pop in my AirPods and listen to podcasts and just drive around and deliver. And you know what? It's really fun to see, especially the younger kids, like when you knock on their door, and especially if it's a surprise, and you just give them all these balloons, and they're like Mylar balloons mixed with other, and she does a great job of just kind of styling it. So it's almost like a bouquet of balloons. And so you just like, I remember once I was delivering it to a kid, and as I'm walking out and saying goodbye, the kid walks up and goes, "Wow!" And it was just so cool. It's a great moment. It's like, cool. Amidst all this crap that we're going through, there is still some joy, and the kids are loving it, and so it's really been helping her. So all that to say, I would normally work in the back of her store. So whenever she's ready to go, I work from the home until she's ready to go to the store, and then we all go to the store together, and then we'll work from there, and then we all come back together. So a lot depends on how much work is involved and that kind of stuff. So yeah, when all this happened, it was not a problem for me to just stay home and relax. But now I have my little 8-year-old friend with me all the time. So it's like, we've got to get some stuff together, get her engaged and get her going. And now everything's a little eased up here. So we have play dates and we've had sleepovers with her friends. And so that's really good for her. And honestly, I feel bad for a lot of these kids out there because they, like, everything that they expect and know typically is gone. Like, Piper has no summer camps that she normally goes to. She goes to like a Girl Scout camp. There's like another camp that like has, it's like one of those camp places. And, and they're all canceled. Everything is canceled. So she's really holding it together. I'm really proud of her. She's really held it together very nicely. But like, she's learned how to ride a bike during this whole time. Like, we were struggling with that for a little bit. So boom, we're going on bike rides like in the neighborhood. And so that kind of helps kill time. She's really, now that cheer's picked back up at the actual gym, they were doing like Zoom cheer stuff from home. But now it's like, now I think she's getting more and more back into the swing of things. So it's good. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that has the same situation. And so it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough when you're that young and you just, even the pool situation, like we have to do a reservation kind of a system and it's usually booked all the time. So it's like, ugh, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we've had the same thing with our kids, and we've just we've kind of made stuff up and done stuff.
Yeah.
And like we're just gonna do these like little things. We bought a trampoline.
Oh,
I
Lord.
gave in and got one because and you know what the funny thing is, like they spend at least maybe an hour out there. Like they'll go out there for 10 minutes, then they'll come back in for an hour, then go out for 10 minutes. But at least like
It's
over
something.
the course of the whole day, they get outside, they do something.
Yep.
And I never would have bought a trampoline if it wasn't for being stuck at home.
Yeah. Enjoy the ER visits, my friend. That'll be fun.
That's exactly right. And I've got two boys.
Yeah,
Charlie, who's 7, he'll be 8 in December, and Jackson turns 6 back in April. And they're out there together. It's like, yeah, how long before they're doing things like my brother and I did, where they're doing wrestling moves and trying to throw each other off the thing? And,
where's that folding chair, brother? It's coming. It is
That's
coming.
Right.
That is so awesome. Yeah, I have something. I don't have a trampoline, but I got this 20-foot by 3-foot across air mat. It's designed for cheerleaders when they start doing their round off back handsprings and all that stuff. And so all I have to do is blow it up, and we put it outside in the yard. And that's exactly what Piper does too. She'll go out there, do some stuff for a little bit, and then come back in, and then go back out. And so, yeah, it's something. It's not just them sitting in front of whatever, just sitting there doing nothing. Like, give them something to do.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
So yeah, so that's kind of my life in a nutshell. It's pretty boring, which is fine. I like boring. I am a gamer. My preferred console would be the PlayStation. I have a PlayStation 4 Pro, and I do have an Xbox One that is, just an OG Xbox. And no, I'm sorry, I do have an Xbox One.
You have an Xbox One.
I have an Xbox One that is sitting there without a power cord in it, and it's just collecting dust. So that's how much I play Xbox games. I do have a Switch.
Well, the fact you can't remember which version of the Xbox
that's
you
a
have.
good sign.
Yeah, I mean,
dead giveaway, was it not?
Yeah.
There you go. So
I think it's something from Microsoft, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's from Apple. Who knows?
Micro snuff, something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's funny because I think I gravitated first to the PlayStation. And you have to understand, I didn't grow up with an NES or SNES or any of this stuff. My family moved around a lot. We were in the military. I know my cousins had a Nintendo, and we played Super Mario. When we would go to the beach in Ocean City, New Jersey, there was arcades. I would play in arcades, but I never actually had an actual home console, except the Commodore 64, which I could play a few games here and there back in the day.
Does that really count?
No, it doesn't.
No.
So my gaming really started in 2011 when on our anniversary, my wife and I, we were in Costco, and there was a PlayStation 3 with the Uncharted 2 bundle. And I had been eyeing it ever since.
So good.
When I go to Costco, and she's like, go ahead. And so I had like 2 Costco gift cards anyway. And so, like, basically my wife gave that to me for our anniversary.
So awesome.
And the rest, as they say, is history. And because I had a Wii before that, and so that's what kind of eased me in. And so we were playing Mario Kart. In fact, I was playing Mario Kart with Gabe a couple times, one of the co-hosts from our podcast. And, that's when I was like, hey, this is really fun, really fun. But I didn't know until I really got into a console like a PS3, and especially a game like Uncharted 2, where everything just opened up. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So,
well, the funny thing is too, is like your first like real gaming experience on a console is from like one of the best developers for like narrative games.
Bingo.
And they have the gameplay super tight. So like, just like looking at it, it's like the only way I think you possibly could have came in with a better experience, and this is like a coin flip, is if you would have started with The Last of Us, which is also by the exact same developer.
Exactly.
And the exact same writing team that did Uncharted 2.
And my favorite game of all time. And it's funny you say that because I just went back on the Nathan Drake collection because I had not played 1. And
that's right, yeah.
I played and finished 1 just this past week, and I've actually started, just for nostalgia's sake, playing 2 again right now.
Oh.
Now, everything is going to change come Friday when The Last of Us Part 2 comes out. So right now, what I'm playing is just filler stuff. So I
Matt, are you taking notes? Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying about the Uncharted collection. And
I'm not going to play the Uncharted collection.
Why?
Oh, you're killing
me. I don't have the time. I can't play like 4 more games. I'll play Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 is on sale. I'll play that.
No. I blew through Uncharted 1 no problem in... Oh, shoot. I don't even... It just went fast. That's all I know. And here's the thing.
It's like a 15-hour game tops.
Easily. Yeah.
That's tops. Like a month for me.
Well, there you go. And a lot depends on when you play. So here's the thing. The way I play games and the way I game as a father and as a husband, because I know there's 2 other people that are looking at me like, are you seriously going to do this?
Right.
I get up, I'm an early riser, so I get up early in the morning, and that's my gaming time. So I will play a good hour and a half early morning, or if everyone's going to sleep and they're fading, I will go and play at night during that time. My philosophy is if everyone's up, I'm not going to play games. I'll be with family. And that's just that's the responsible. Yeah, that's the responsible gamer thing to do, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever that is. But the whole idea is, I'll like the early morning. That's my me time. That's my game time. I can go in and kind of play whatever I want. So you would probably think I'm not much of a multiplayer person because no one's really up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And you would be right because I am not the biggest multiplayer person at all. The only real multiplayer game I play is Overwatch. I tried Warzone for like 30 minutes and just got obliterated. I'm like, well, I'm done with that. So it's like I'm a single player, single campaign story kind of a guy. So again, as you said, what better way to start my gaming career as at that time a 36-year-old, 37-year-old? It would be to start with Uncharted 2, which told a great story. And I have been a Naughty Dog fan from day one. They are probably my top favorite developers. And
absolutely.
And I cannot wait for The Last of Us 2. I'm going to take as much time this weekend as I can to play. I have gone dark on everything. I haven't watched it.
Good call. Good call.
Besides the Sony thing that they did a couple weeks ago, when I just wanted to watch what Neil Druckmann was going to say because he's amazing anyway. After that, I just cut off all ties. I know nothing, and I haven't been spoiled, which is great, and I don't care to be. I will say I'm kind of scared about this game. I think it's going to be super dark. I think it's going to be super dark and depressing, but hopefully, like I don't know, because The Last of Us, the first 10 minutes of that game, I had knots in my stomach, and being a girl dad or a daughter dad too, even more so, the emotional level was just up there. And so, and then the ending left me like, whew, I just sat in silence during that ending. Yeah. And so I'm expecting the same thing to happen here, but I don't know either way what's going to happen. I'm already sad just because I feel like there's going to be a lot of hurt and pain in this, which helps with the story, and I love that from a story perspective. But I don't know. But I am just super excited for this game, and I hope this game goes gangbusters for everybody.
The NDA dropped like 3 days ago, so when the podcast releases on Thursday, it'll be the next day that the game comes out. But when we're recording tonight on Monday night, the NDA dropped like 3 days ago. I am completely dark on social media right now. I won't go near anything because the problem is I know some friends in some of the different podcast communities that have got their hands on this game early. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we know that there was leaks that happened, and I stayed away from all the leaks. Yep. But I've had people kind of say like, hey, man, did you look at the leaks? I'm like, no, don't say anything. And they're like, oh, okay, I won't say anything. But I'm one of those guys where like, if you give me just an ounce of information, I'm going to sit there and think about it long enough that I'm going to make too many logical connections, and then I'm going to have 75% of it figured out. And I don't want that to happen.
No,
I'm dark.
I'm going in dark and I'm dumb. Like, I don't know. Yep. I know what Neil Druckmann has told me as far as the worlds. I know that kind of stuff. and it's I love that it's just it no spoilers, it picks up where it left off, which is perfect.
Right.
That's exactly where you want this game to go, and so I'm thrilled with that. So anyway. So, I'm a 45-year-old man-child that loves video games. I do happen to have a podcast as well with my fellow brethrens. Our podcast is called Married to the Games. I do it with my buddy Gabe Patillo, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken. We have done it for 7.5 years now. We are, this week we should be recording our 405th straight episode. We have not, I'm so proud of that. We have not missed a week in podcasts. And I just love those guys to death. Like that's my weekly gaming nerd community. And speaking of which, we have built up this amazing community of which you gentlemen are a part of. And we love you for it. And it's just, I feel like, I can go online if I'm playing Overwatch and somebody from the community comes in, we have an absolute ball, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
And like everyone's so respectful. There's no 12-year-old yelling at you about your mom dying or anything like that. It's just it's just like positive, great people who love games, love the games we're playing, and that's it. And if I could just game with those people on a multiplayer level, I'd probably play more multiplayer games, but I don't. So that, that's just how it goes. It's the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, Married to the Games.
I'm gonna go a step further and talk up Married to the Games for a second.
Well, you are certified street team, by the way.
Well, there is that.
We call the Stapletons the street team.
I'm going to take it a step further because I think it's a wonderful community, and we always use the term, you guys on the podcast and the people in the community refer to it as family.
Yep.
But like, I have met so many wonderful people that like I keep in contact with on a personal level, not just like the games level. I mean, I have those people too, but on a personal level that are friends. And, I've been to Tim's house. Yep. I've spent time with his wife, and Piper. And so like, I know Lauren. I've not just met her once. I've met her a number of times. I've had full-on conversations with her, a number of times. When you guys had, I think it was her birthday earlier this year, and last year maybe.
Her birthday's in October.
Yeah, I messaged her and just wish her happy birthday, and she's like, "Oh, thank you so much." And I said,
she
what
says
did
hi,
Tim
by
do
the way.
for you? Oh, you give your wife a big hug and you tell her I say hello.
No problem.
Like, it's her birthday, and she's like carrying on a conversation with me through Facebook. Yep. And I'm asking, what's Tim done for you today? How did he treat you? Blah, blah, blah. And she's just laughing. She's like, I think I might let him play a little Overwatch. He's been a good boy and, treated me right. And I'm just laughing. But like your podcast though, like there's a sense of community, but there's also a sense of family, and it's a very open place where all these people come together and people find each other and make real relationships. And it's such a breath of fresh air because the internet can be a dark and weird place. To have that and that kind of environment and community and family feeling, it's literally one of the things that I think is the most beautiful thing I have found later in my life. Obviously, I could say like my wife and my kids, but just friendships and community. Because Tim, you're 45, I'm 41. I know you get a lot of flack for being the old guy, quote unquote.
Which is hilarious because Ed's 2 years older than me, but whatever, we won't go into it.
Right. And I'm just barely behind you, but you know that when you start getting a little further along and you're out of your teenage years and your early 20s, making like friendships with other adult males, like it happens very infrequently.
Yes.
But that's not the case in the community with the Married to the Games family, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, and nobody cares. That's the beauty of it. They don't care who you are, what you are. And I think a lot of that is also due to the fact that we're very open in our podcast. We've gone through all of us have gone through some stuff, and we talk about it. And we just had this conversation last week about with the whole rioting and everything, and we had a very deep conversation about it, and and laid it all out for everybody, and and we're an interracial podcast too, so it's like it's good to get a perspective from somebody like Gabe, and then and Ed, and it's just it's that transparency goes a long way because then people relate and they're like, oh, and we have a Patreon, and we have a whole Discord where we have conversations with our patrons and stuff. And one of the big channels, one of the big topics on there is Real Talk. It's our Real Talk channel. And there has been some amazing stuff on there. And we people are reaching out to people and they're comforting people or they're happy for people. And it is such a family community. And we're not in this to make money or do any of that stuff. If I can walk away from Married to the Games knowing full well that this family is together and we built this community, that's all I need, because it's incredible and it's so much fun to be a part of. So I never want to give it up. And if I can keep podcasting until I'm 70, I will, and it'll be great. If I can keep video gaming until I'm 70.
So another 5 years, you're there.
So another 5 years, and then I'll burst into flames and off I go. So no, it's awesome. But yeah, so I feel like I've talked way too much, but that is me in a nutshell. So hello, everybody.
So I love this because the super friends that don't already know you get to know you. But for me, I'm just sitting back here listening. It's like, yeah, man, I've known all this stuff. Like, we've broken bread together numerous times. I know all this, but it's just wonderful to hear you and to hear it again. So anyway, awesome. Matt, how was your week? What's been going on in the Shaw household?
First, Matt, did you play Uncharted?
Not yet.
Hold on a second.
Getting there.
I'm going to pressure you before I let you go and get off this hook here. Did you pick up the Uncharted collection like I told you should when it was like $10 or free?
No.
Okay, here's the deal.
It was free.
I have it free digitally. I have the disc that I play through. In a week and a half, when we're up in Montana for the funeral for our family member's grandfather, I'm bringing it with me. You're taking it back to Texas with you, so you have no excuse not to play it.
I'll find excuses.
And if you don't do that, Spencer, give me his address. I've got the disc version as well. I will just literally mail it to him.
Right.
Because
so he's got two versions.
Because I got it for free from PlayStation Plus, which is amazing. And I have the disc part of it too. It may still be in its cellophane too. So guess what? You're going to get it regardless.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Well, I'll just sell it back to GameStop for 75 cents.
Oh, yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
You're the worst.
Kidding.
You're the worst.
Calm down, people. Anyway, good grief. Also,
how was your week?
I must say, you two have quite a bromance here. I literally said like two things for 20 minutes as you guys were you're making out over the podcast here. It was beautiful.
We're just having a little glass of wine, candlelight dinner,
it's
a
little cauliflower.
Little red wine and cauliflower. Thank you, Spencer. Appreciate that.
Anyway, so this week was fine. I mean, like Tim's life is boring. He went on for a while about it. I don't have much to say. Plus, y'all listen to me every week say that I didn't do a dang thing. So I didn't do a dang thing. We did. I mean, in reality, we did a little bit. We, finally, Disney stores opened up. We've been telling Emmy, Tim, I've got a 3-year-old and an 8-month-old.
Oh, amazing.
So Emmy's 3, and she's been wanting to go to the Disney store, and that finally opened up in our area. So we went to the mall, went to the Disney store. She got a little stuffed animal and a raincoat.
That's great.
And she was stoked about it and loved being out doing something. And we went out and did a few more fun things. My parents are still here. Their house sold finally again.
Mama Shaw's still in town?
They're still here.
Ooh.
But they are leaving on like the 28th of June. They're moving up to Portland for real this time, supposedly.
Oh, wow.
They left and came back and left. I don't really know what's happening. So, we want to do as much things with them as possible. So they went with us. We flipped up the back seats of the new car. And I did figure out it's a Tiguan. Just following up on last week that I couldn't remember the name of the freaking car. Volkswagen.
So awesome. I bought this Volkswagen something or another.
I knew it was a T. Come on. That's pretty good. Yeah. It's a dumb name, all right? I don't know what it means.
But hey, it's VW, man. They're quality cars.
It's a nice car. Yeah, it's a really nice car. So we got to flip those seats up, and somebody had to crawl their way into the very back and sit back there. So that was we felt cool about that. That was like the big thing. I followed up on our assignment, and I watched Queer Eye.
Okay.
Another couple episodes, trying to inspire myself. I I know that y'all are probably going to laugh at this, but tonight, Jesse and I finished Fuller House. The final episodes were just released, so and that's the end of it. There's no more, which is sad to say goodbye to the Tanners and the Fullers again. Devastating.
I know. I was like, didn't I say goodbye to them in like 93?
Well, it was later than 93 that you said goodbye, but it was the 90s.
But I'm not far off though.
No,
right?
it was like the mid 90s that we said goodbye. Yeah. And now we say goodbye again here in the, what is this? Early 2020s? Yeah. 2020. Anyway, and then Charles talked about how he's watched Supernatural for 15 seasons last week on the podcast. So I was like, yo, I'm going to try that show. I watched the first 3 episodes today while I was working. And it's like scary. So don't watch it, Spencer. You'll have nightmares.
Nope, not going to watch it.
But it's cool. I like it. It's dark. You know how I dabble in the darkness, and I like that creepy, weirdy stuff. So I'm into it. But that was really pretty much the week. Nothing eventful or interesting other than a nice little outing. And
I will say that I got a number of text messages and calls from some of the super friends last week who said they really enjoyed Charles being on last week. They thought he was just really good to listen to, but then also had some really great perspectives. So Charles, if you're listening to this week, I'm not teasing around when I said I'm going to have you back on and we're going to pick your brain about Marvel Comics because man. I got some questions.
He'd love it. He's all about it. He had a great time too. He really enjoyed it. So my wife actually listened to the podcast this week because Charles
the first time.
There you go.
Nice.
So we'll see. She won't listen this week. When she hears it's about video games, she'll be like, not happening. Not interested.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was it. It was a good week. Yeah.
Brita only listens here and there because she comes on when we do our movie club, our movie reviews, and she joins us. Otherwise, no, not so much. But what are you going to do? Okay, my week was actually, I had a lot kind of going on this last week, Super Friends. I finished Thursday of last week, the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Woohoo!
Nice. I loved it. Loved it from start to finish. I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil it because I know there's still people playing through it. What I will say is that they stayed so true to the big story beats of the original game while making all these little choices and had all these other kind of expanded roles for characters that maybe had a line or two in the beginning of the original game, and they expanded out stories and they gave them things to do that it feels to me like a very strong nod to what's came before, and it feels comfortable for people that played the original, but also fresh and new at the same time. And I think that's an incredibly difficult needle to thread in today's video game world, and I thought that they did it perfectly.
Nice.
Awesome.
So much so that when it ended, because I was streaming this all on Twitch, twitch.tv/boardofnerds79, in case Super Friends you have forgotten. I was streaming it on Twitch. When it ended, I kind of went, I don't know what to do next, but I don't want to leave this world. So on the Friday night, I fired up the old Final Fantasy VII, the original on the PS4.
Wow.
And I'm streaming that, and that's going to be my stream game for a while because I know this story. I don't need to read all the dialogue, so I can interact with the community there and with the friends and the super friends that show up and still play the game and be interactive because I feel like I've played a lot of really heavy narrative games. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I went in dark to it because I wanted to experience it. But that's a lot of story. There's a lot of cut scenes. So I'd have to stop talking. Same thing with Spider-Man. Same thing with God of War. Same thing with
Uncharted.
What did I play? Yeah, Uncharted 2, but I didn't stream that. But I feel like I've been streaming a lot of these big narrative games where I have to go quiet for 10 minutes because huge dialogue, huge cut scenes, and I don't want to miss out either. So going back to the original for me is actually the perfect game to stream right now because I get to stay in that world and stay with that story, but I don't have to read the dialogue. I know what's going on. I've played this game 3 times already in the past, so I'm good. So that was a lot of fun. I loved the remake. I'm looking forward to the next one. I really do know the original story, and I don't know what they're going to do with the next one because they've left themselves a way that they can really go a few directions with the story, which I think is great. Brita and I are getting ready to go to Montana for this funeral and for a little bit of a vacation over the 4th of July. And she's got some problems with her brakes that apparently she kind of hasn't told me about for a while.
Oh, boy.
And so I said, well, what's it doing? She's like, well, when I go to stop, it makes this grinding sound.
Oh,
I was like, oh, okay. So I called up a buddy. I took the car over to his house. He's got a lift in his garage.
That's awesome.
And we put it up. We put it up on the lift. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm like, I'm not a super big car guy. He is. And so he said that the trade-off, because we replaced the pads and the rotors on the rear tires and replaced the right rear caliper and had to bleed the brakes. And it was supposed to be like a 45-minute job, and it turned into a 4-hour job.
Of course.
Which, you know, is kind of always how it happens. We also did an oil change, air filter, oil filter, that sort of thing. But he called me later. He said, hey, you want to make me one of your Chicago deep dish pizzas? And we'll call that an even trade. I was like, done.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's gosh, I want those friends. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really great, man.
I feel like I'm getting off easy, but
Yeah,
then
you are.
again, he knows how because I make my own dough, and it takes 3 hours for it to rise and then knock it down and then rise again. I make my own sauce. So like he knows that it's going to take me about 3 hours to make everything and put the pizza together and then cook it. So in his head, he's probably thinking, yeah, it's about 4 hours of Spencer's time. So, fair is fair.
That's really cool that you have a friend like that who can kind of trade off.
Dude.
But he probably loves the car aspect of it too, and
yes.
figuring it all out and tweaking this and
Yes.
that. Like car guys are just that way, and it's amazing, and it's very rare these days now because all you typically do is plug it in and the computer tells you what to do. But
Right.
I love people who just love cars, and I was never a car person either. Like I wouldn't really know what to do, but I appreciate people who just dive into cars and love them, trying to figure out things and tweak things, and this is great.
Yep. Yeah, he's definitely that guy. So I got a friend in my back pocket that I know if I've got car trouble or questions, he's my go-to. I don't even go to YouTube.
Awesome.
I just go right to Jeremy. I'm like, yo, what's going on?
So brakes are good now?
Brakes are good now, man. The car sounds really good. It's driving well. My wife was driving it today. She went and picked us up some Cafe Rio for dinner, and she said, hey, the brakes aren't making any noise. I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when you actually have brake pads.
When you don't grind them down.
I know. It's like, that's the way it's supposed to work. So that's been good. I had a bit of a frustration today with my boys because we got them these new tablets because they have like these really, really old iPads, iPad 2s, and then they got these like Kindle Fires, but they're real small and they didn't have enough space, and I had to like side load the Google Play Store on them. So anyway, we got them these nice Samsung Galaxy 10-inch tablets because we know we're about to take a 14-hour car trip to Montana, and they're going to need some entertainment, and I don't want to have to listen to them for 14 hours because, kill me now. Love them, but, that's a long drive.
Right there with you, brother.
So we got on the tablets, and they've got some of these free games, and I broke down and I bought a game for them because I don't know why, but like for some reason I'll spend $60 on a game for myself, but when they say they want a 99-cent app, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I'm not doing
always
that.
how it goes, man. Yep, 99
I
cents is
don't
like
know.
$100. You can't do it. Nope.
I know. I was like, no. So I broke down and I spent $8 and bought them Minecraft.
Oh,
Which, here's the thing. I'm smart enough to know I buy it on my Google account, and I just put my Google accounts on both of those, so I spend $8 once and not like twice, right?
right.
Today, my youngest Jackson, who's 6, and he's really been getting into the Legos. Like, we've done a few of these Lego streams on the weekend on Twitch where we're streaming us building Legos together, which is more he builds them and I just interact with chat and then I occasionally help him. But the funny thing is he's gotten into this whole Lego and building blocks. And so he's in Minecraft. He's like, Dad, look, I've got a house. And look, I just built an office. And Dad, I want to build this portal so I can go to the nether world. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, but I need help. So I've never played Minecraft a day in my life. I have no interest in learning how to play.
Agreed.
But now my 6-year-old son's asking for help and he needs to know what materials he needs and how he has to do that. So I'm on my phone and I'm looking it up and I figure out, okay, he needs obsidian, he needs to make it into a frame, and then he needs to use flint and steel and light it, and then it creates this little portal. And we do that. He goes into the netherworld. He thinks it's kind of scary. He comes back out of the netherworld and just kind of goes about his business. My 7-year-old son, Charlie, sees this, gets jealous, so he goes and gets all the supplies, creates a portal to the netherworld. He goes in the portal, and when you go in this portal, you're basically like in this huge like subterranean like world. And what does he do? He creates another portal to the netherworld and goes through that and goes like another layer deeper.
Oh, good Lord.
And then he walks away from his original portal and gets lost.
Oh, no.
And he comes over and is like, after like 20 minutes, he's like, Dad, I can't find my way back to the portal and I don't know what to do and this and that. And so like, here I am and I can't find it. And I'm going around and I'm trying to dig my way out of this thing and trying to figure, I'm like, well, okay, well, what do I press? You know, it was the traditional like old man, I don't know how to play your video game, but you want my help.
Yep.
And so eventually I was like, okay, well, apparently if we just kill your character in creative mode, it'll reset to your last spawn point and we'll go back home. It wouldn't accept the kill commands. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And so my wife and I spent like half an hour like watching YouTube videos, reading blog posts. And finally we found something that said like, create this type of a portal inside the netherworld and it'll put you back to the overworld and you'll be fine. But remember, for every brick you're in the netherworld, like every brick you cross is the equivalent of 8 bricks on the overworld. So you're probably going to be on the other side of the planet or whatever.
Oh, good Lord. Wow.
And then we got back to the overworld and it took us like 20 minutes. And like we could put this little compass on and we turn the compass on and the compass shows you where your last spawn point is, which is his bed in his house. And I just set the compass and then hit it and I just held it down there. And we turned the TV on and we were just kind of talking. 20 minutes to get him back home. Like, jeez, I don't know where the heck we were in this world. I don't want to know where the heck we were in this world, but I have a feeling that I'm going to know more about Minecraft here in the next couple of weeks than I've ever cared to know.
Yep. It's crazy because Piper did the same thing. Like she has it on her iPad and the scary thing is she hasn't asked me for any help yet. So I'm kind of fine with that because I don't know the game either, nor do I really care to. I will say, I definitely appreciate how the attention to detail that they put in, the expanse of it all. And like, it is something to be like, wow, good job, guys. I'm never going to play your game, but congratulations. You put together something that's really robust, really cool. It's really open world and Godspeed, have at it. And so like, Piper hasn't done any of that, but like she's made a house, she's got chickens and I'm just like, what is going on here? And I don't even know how to do any of this. And I'm fine with that. That's the beauty of it. I'm totally fine with that. You go, that's your thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay for them to have their thing.
Yep.
So other than that, like I spent some time over the weekend. I did some more work on my Twitch channel. I got my sub loyalty badges set up. I am super close from hitting my next sub goal, which unlocks another emote slot. So that's been kind of fun to see me approaching on that. I feel it just blows me away. Like I've said this a number of times to other streamers. I said, isn't it crazy that all I'm doing is playing games and talking and interacting and people are willing to give me money?
Yeah.
Whether it's a 5-cent little, tip of bits or whether someone, puts $5 down and subscribes to my channel, like it just blows me away the kindness of people because no one's got to do that, and I don't expect that. I'm doing it because it's fun, and it helps me do something else while I'm also playing video games. It gives me a reason to have scheduled time to play video games. So anyway, so I'm trying to make sure that my experience on my channel is fun and interactive for everyone, and I created some channel points, and so this week I started doing some bad accents, and I tell people, I say, look, if you redeem the channel points, here's 3 accents I do okay, which is Kermit the Frog, Bill Clinton, and like a Russian accent,
Beautiful.
and then here's a handful I do pretty bad, but it's passable, and I was like, and then you can just choose whatever else, and I'll try it. And so I've been reading dialogue in the old Final Fantasy game as a Russian, and my wife came down and was going to go to Chick-fil-A, and she was asking me what, and I still had time on the little timer. And so I was placing my order for Chick-fil-A in this bad Russian accent and just laughing the whole time. Like, just,
that's amazing.
I was snorting. I was laughing so hard. It was just ridiculous.
Nice.
Just
That's
ridiculous.
so much fun, though, man. I'm glad you're doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. Let's see. I found for sure I need to put my back sprinklers. I know this is like, I feel like every week there's an update on my yard work and my sprinklers because it's a mess, but I've got to split up my zone in the back to make 2 zones because there's just not enough water pressure to push all of those rotors. And so I've made the decision that's the plan, and I've staked it out, and I'm probably going to wait till after we come back from this little vacation to do it, just to give myself a little bit more time to make sure I've got everything so I do it once right, and it doesn't stretch out over like the course of a week.
That's smart.
Other than that, I've been watching Community again on Netflix because it's there, and I love Community. And the boys' masks, we ordered some masks for them. Mm-hmm. They came in today, and so they got their little Sonic the Hedgehog's masks today.
Proud.
So they're ready for the trip and all the places we may have to stop or go into as part of the trip. So
there you go.
Nice.
Anyway, we have gone way long, but it's been way fun. So let's jump into Rebel Intelligence. Matt, how do you want to kill the Bothans this week?
I don't know. Just run him over.
Running him over it is.
Sounds good to me.
I always have to let you know, many Bothans died to bring us this information.
Rest in peace, you Bothans.
We are into Rebel Intelligence. Many Bothans have died to provide us with this. Let's start with Tim. Tim, what do you have? You're the guest. What do you have for us this week? What is the Rebel Intelligence we have?
Well, speaking of Bothans and Rebel Intelligence, we got a new Star Wars game, people. Holy cow.
Yes, we do.
EA comes out with Star Wars Squadrons. It looks amazing. It's being developed by Motive Studios, the same developer who worked on the single-player campaign portion of Battlefront 2.
Yep.
I might really get into this because they did the trailer reveal. Just love hearing those sounds. All the phasers and everything about it just sounds so good. But so
good.
Squadrons, it's a space combat. It's first-person starship action. But here's the cool part: it sounds like it's 5v5. You can be 5 on the New Republic, 5 on the Empire, and it says it's going to support crossplay, which could be. I don't know about that.
We'll see.
Yeah. I'm not real hopeful on that, but either way, I think this is absolutely incredible. There are different. You can kind of customize the ship designs. Apparently, there's going to be different multiplayer game modes as well as a single player campaign, which is great. So I will probably start with the single player and then work from there. But this, that looked really good.
I loved that they said no loot boxes, that everything you can get is able to be gotten in game through playing the game.
Yeah.
Halla freaking Luya.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I think that's going to be fun. No release date though. Yes, I didn't see that.
I saw October 2nd, I think.
Yeah, October 2nd is what I saw.
And I think it's only $40. I think it's $39.99 on October 2nd. That's what I read earlier today.
I'll tell you the only reason I'm a little hesitant, because you guys know me. Star Wars is my jam. Like, I'm there. Give me the old PC games, Rebel Assault, X-Wing Fighter games. Like, I know they were not
Rebel Assault,
good games.
so hard.
I know
That's
they
the
were not
hardest
good
game I
games.
ever played.
But like those, like the TIE Fighter games, the X-Wing games.
Yeah.
My dad had a flight stick, and so I'd use the flight stick to play that on
Nice,
PC back in the day. I love that. I'm a little hesitant about is that everything we saw in that trailer, which was fantastic.
It was
looking,
great. Right.
there was no gameplay footage.
Yep.
They're showing
That's
it this week, though. They're showing it on like Thursday.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
See, I
This
didn't hear that.
IGN Summer of Play, they're trying to make it like a thing.
They're trying to.
And
Okay.
so that's kind of their draw on whatever the heck day it is. I mean,
Okay.
I don't have
Matt,
all the specifics, but I know
that's
a lot more
fine.
than you
But you
two.
gave me something to look forward to because I kind of went.
No, there
looks
will
good,
be gameplay soon.
but
this
no
week.
gameplay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be gameplay this week. Supposed to be cross-platform play. We'll see. $39.99 October 2nd. I'm excited about it too. I don't know. We'll see. I also don't do multiplayer, but I haven't. Again, you'll find this out, Tim. I not huge Game Boy.
Yeah.
I not
that's fine.
huge Game Boy.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
a huge
simple
Game Boy.
man.
No problem, Yoda. We got you.
I
It's all
play
good.
Animal Crossing, and that is perfect for me.
And
But-
Uncharted.
Now, you
clearly.
did play Last of Us recently.
Yeah, just finished that, and
Yeah.
Jesse
Oh.
is well aware that my Father's Day will be me murdering humans mercilessly as Ellie. So that's going to be
Excellent.
my Father's Day this year.
Excellent. It sounds like a
Nice.
perfect Father's Day. You can't go wrong.
just
Right?
gruesomely murdering other people.
Well, let me ask you. So, did you are you all in with The Last of Us? Did you enjoy it?
I
Like,
loved
'cause-
it. Yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
Last of Us, I'm in.
Okay,
Totally.
that's awesome. Because I have done that before with friends of mine who aren't big gamers, but they do have a PlayStation. They don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it, I just remember my one buddy. I gave him the disc on a Thursday, and he came back on. No, I gave it to him on Friday, and he came back on Monday with the disc saying, "Greatest game ever. I did it the entire weekend."
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
that's how you do it. That's how you
Yep.
tell a story.
Nice.
That's how you engage somebody in
Yeah.
a game. Like that is for me, that is always the best game to go to. I'm like, do you like stories? Yeah. Do you like, there's a lot of action. It can be dark at times, but it leads you somewhere. Yeah. Boom. Here's your game.
Yep.
And I am never wrong so far. And it's amazing.
Well, it's hard not to be wrong when you're like, here's one of the best video games ever
Ever.
made.
Ever.
Try this. If you
Yes.
don't like this, then you're pretty much broken and you're not a human.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Then go back to your mobile games and Candy Crush, and we'll see you later.
That's right. You go play Minecraft over there in the corner. The big boys will be over here.
Enjoy your Portal. Have fun.
That's right. Just don't Portal Inception yourself. It's bad.
That's right.
It's bad.
That's right.
So the point I was making was
Oh,
that-
yeah, there's a point.
there was a point to what I was saying. Multiplayer, I don't do. I don't even have
Yeah.
whatever the online subscription you need to have
Yeah,
is.
PS
I don't
Plus.
even have that. So online is not a huge important thing. So I was glad to see they're going to have a single player campaign.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is important to somebody like me. I grew up doing that, and I grew up a Nintendo boy. And if you weren't playing the game next to the person you were playing it with, online was never important in Nintendo, and so it's never been important to me either. So I don't know. We'll see. That one sounds cool though.
Yep.
I'm excited for it.
What do
The
you got, Matt?
artwork
Keep
looked
it going.
really good. I
Yeah.
really like that artwork that they had with the, one side Rebel, other side Empire. That was really cool.
Yep, it's cool. I'm excited to be
Also,
able to choose.
also, if we want to get really into the weeds here, I noticed Wedge was in there.
Yes, I saw that too.
And also Hera from Star Wars Rebels is
Yeah,
in there as
man.
well.
It's amazing.
Just saying.
Lots
I
of
saw
little
that and I was
Easter
like,
eggs.
I saw Wedge too.
It's gonna be cool.
Yep.
All right, so here's what I've got. We'll go with the good news. Jurassic World 3, which I know everyone's clamoring for. I know you're big into more Jurassic movies, Spencer, so
Yeah.
we'll spend some time here.
It's a good popcorn film.
Yes.
It's fun.
Well, the good
Yeah,
news
it
is they are resuming production. So we're starting to see
Okay.
some signs where movies and TV shows are beginning to go into production. And they're actually going in like July 6th. So it's
Yep.
like really,
Wow.
really quick. They're spending like $5 million on protection and safety protocols, and they have a whole bunch of screenings and tests that they have to do, and everyone's wearing a mask except for the actors while they're acting, obviously. What if we got a movie of Jurassic World, they're just wearing masks?
Oh, God.
And everyone
That
just
would be hilarious.
accepted, well, they were doing it during the pandemic, so it makes
Right.
perfect sense to us.
So
20
15 years from now,
exactly.
when like no one has any clue what that was. Yeah.
Right.
And they don't mention it, nothing's said. They're just wearing masks for safety. But anyway, so I thought that was cool. A little tidbit that came out today that we're starting to see things kind of come back. I read there was another big movie that was starting production again as well. So I think we'll start seeing, hopefully, more of this happening. And, the safety measures may never go away. I mean, might as well be safe. Who knows? So there you go.
I'm going to guess if there's any kissing scenes, they're probably going to schedule those for the end of the shoot and not right now. Just
It's
taking a
very
guess.
possible.
Just taking a guess.
That's a good call. There are a lot of kissing scenes between dinosaurs, so hopefully they've been tested.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the other question I was going to ask you, Matt. How are they going to get the masks on the dinosaurs?
I don't know. When they're off screen, it's like, how do you, it's like a toddler. Like, I don't know how you keep a mask on.
They're so rambunctious anyway. How are you going to hold them down and then put a mask
Yeah,
on?
they got to be made of steel. They open their jaw. Oh, it's just a mess.
They
But
have
you
to
know
be
what?
meat masks or something.
That's where the $5 million is going. So
That's right.
Giant, huge masks. T-Rex, get over here, buddy. Get over
That's
here.
right.
Put this thing on. I know you don't have hands, so we'll help you. Your arms
Right.
won't reach.
That's right.
Okay, so here's... I'm going to go with the one that, I'm going to save my favorite one for last. So my first of the two that I've got this week. We talked, what was it, last week, 2 weeks ago, about how HBO Max launched. This is the HBO version of hey, we want to be like Disney with Disney Plus, and what Apple TV is failing horribly with kind of Apple Plus, and what Peacock is going to be some half-baked thing that's going to be done. HBO is kind of crazy because HBO has HBO Go, which was their version of, hey, if you already have HBO, we'll just give you everything on HBO on this app. Then they have HBO Now, which was their subscription service to getting HBO. Now they're coming out with HBO Max, and I said it back then. I said, why do another service? You can do HBO Now without needing a cable subscription or anything. You can just go on their website and sign up. So why come out with another service and rebrand it? It launched and it was kind of abysmal, and they promised all these titles, and then they don't have these titles, and no one even knew the launch weekend. Well, now they're saying that they're axing the HBO Go name, that they're basically getting rid of that service, and everything is going to fall under the HBO Now if you have HBO service through your satellite or cable provider, and then HBO Max if you're subscribing to their online service that they just launched. I don't know who is making these decisions.
I agree.
But someone needs to go over and talk to the folks at Disney because they're doing it right. Yeah. And they're fixing the small things they had wrong quickly, and they're adding more stuff. HBO, come on, guys. Warner Media, AT&T, get your act together. This is just a train wreck.
When I saw HBO Max, the first thing I thought was, oh, did HBO and Cinemax get together and have a baby? What is going on here? It makes, you're right, whoever's doing the marketing for this should be fired because it is so confusing. Everybody, I stopped HBO Go after the final season of Game of Thrones. And we just cut back on our cable bill, and it wasn't necessary. My wife loves Outlander, so we do have a Star subscription, and that's like $4 a month, and that's fine. No big deal. But I don't watch a whole lot of HBO anymore anyway. But what I'm used to and what I know is HBO Go. So if you're trying to get me back into HBO, I'm going right to HBO Go. And now all of a sudden I see this HBO Now and HBO Max, and I'm like, what is this? I have no clue what this is, and what am I getting for it? And is this now, are there Cinemax titles on here now too? Because it has Max in it. Terrible naming for this thing.
It's so bad. If they would have said, we're calling it HBO Plus, I would have still said, okay, we got it. everyone's online thing now is going to be called Plus. And I would have said that's pretty stupid. Like, do your own thing. Except with HBO, because I'd say, look, you've already got 2 services that are exactly the same thing with 2 different names. It's confusing already. Adding the third one in and now axing the other. Just stop.
Yep.
Just stop.
They're really, really, really botching this. I don't know if you saw this either, but the DC movies that they're so proud of, and that's kind of like one of their big selling points, is they've got movies back to like 1989's Batman all the way through like Aquaman. They're not, the schedule came out that they are not going to keep those movies on. Most of them are leaving on July 1st. They own those movies. They own them. And they said they're going to rotate the DC movies. I'm blown away at how they're botching it. No 4K, no HDR. Now you're losing the DC movies every month and you're rotating them? Like, how do you screw that up?
Those DC movies, there's a handful that are good, and then the rest are garbage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why not just leave them on there all the... I mean, come on. Do you see Disney? And Disney's, let's go back. Disney used to take movies out of being able to purchase them, and they'd put them back in the quote-unquote vault, right? And then 10 years later, they'd sell them again, and it built hype.
Yeah.
That's Disney. Disney can do that kind of junk because they've got a huge repertoire behind them of quality entertainment. I don't see Disney Plus saying, you know what? We know you love Star Wars, but we're taking it off of our service for the next 6 months just because we can. No, you can get that. I guarantee Star Wars will be on Disney Plus till the day I die.
Right.
As well as Marvel.
Yeah,
as well as Marvel.
And that's the right comparison, too. It's like, what if they were rotating Marvel movies? Like, you get Thor 1, 2, but Thor 3 is not till October.
No, I would cancel my subscription if 1, 2, or 3 were on there.
Oh my gosh.
You can get Thor 2, The Dark World, that you don't like, and Iron Man Marvel 2. Movie.
Right.
But if you want to get Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor Ragnarok or Avengers Infinity War or Endgame, sorry, you're going to have to wait a year until we decide to let it out of the vault again. Oh,
it's a mess.
Come
on. HBO.
But that's the thing. What I love about Disney Plus is that they laid it all out on the table and they're leaving it on the table. Now they're tweaking some things here and there, but I think they pay very close attention to their data. And if things aren't streaming, it's going to get pulled off because they have a huge library of stuff that they can put on there to replace it. HBO, if they're saying that they're going to put all the DC movies on, I wouldn't mind going back to the old school Batmans. Those were great. That was kind of me growing up. Like, I'd go back. But if they're getting cut July 1st, bye-bye. Like, I guarantee you their subscription base is going to drop at least 10% when that happens.
And they're the most expensive of all the streaming services.
15, right?
Yeah,
15.
It's crazy.
Good
so
Lord.
basically, they're not doing anything different monetary-wise than they've done for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Wild.
Anyway, let's move on because my anger is like just seething through.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Tim, what else do you got for us?
Well, speaking of Disney Plus and Disney, Disney announces a phased reopening in California for Disneyland. It's starting July 17th. So they announced Wednesday they plan on commencing a phased reopening. Downtown Disney District shopping area is reopening July 9th. The company plans to reopen Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, Paradise Pier Hotel, and Vacation Club Villas at the Grand Californian Hotel starting July 23rd. And that's all, of course, pending governmental approval.
Sure.
Right.
So I'm curious about this because we've seen what they did with Shanghai, and apparently it's going okay. I know we're big Disney World people. We go at least twice a year. Down to Orlando. Piper's been going to Disney since she was a fetus practically. And so like we're a big Disney family. We have the Disney Vacation Club and like all of our family goes. And so we have so much fun. But this, like we've seen kind of a success of Shanghai, but I'm very curious how this is going to happen because they basically like, it's kind of like there's no fast passes because they have to cut their attendance to 30% max or something like that. So it's, I'm cool with it, but it's a whole nother Disney now, and it could be good, because now it's less crowded, but I just don't know. And I guess they've had some time to really work on it. And I know Disney World has too. They spent a lot of time and money in kind of revamping their queue system and just how everything's going. I like, especially when it opens up here in down in Orlando, I'm very curious how this is going to go, because we were supposed to go to Disney right in March. The day before they closed it down is when we had to cancel everything. And so they were great with everything. We're pushed back and we can kind of go basically whenever, sometime next year. But like, we were supposed to go right when everything was shelter in place. And so we had quickly canceled that. But yeah, it's great that they're trying to do it. Let's see how this works. I know with Universal Studios being open, it's been kind of hit or miss for some people. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. It's such a wait and see thing for me, just to see how this goes.
I think so. I've thought a lot about this, and Breeda and I have talked about it, because Breeda's a huge Disney person. I kind of married into a Disney family when I married Breeda, because she loves it. Yeah. And so we actually have a Disney cruise scheduled for early next February.
Wow.
And I still don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, man.
Because no one's cruising. But I think if you are an experienced Disney person and you lived close to the parks, I think going back in this kind of like limited reopening would be fine, because you've probably been a lot and you're just going for certain things, for some of the rides and, some of the atmosphere. But if you were going for the first time, I would not recommend going.
Yeah.
Not during this, because
agree.
You need, in my opinion, you need the rides, you need the parades, you need the fireworks, you need the characters, you need the shows, all those like little extra things that give you that Disney magical experience.
Yep.
And for the money you're going to drop to take, like, let's say a family of 3 or 4 and maybe travel cross country to go to Disney World or Disneyland, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of your hard-earned money you've saved up for, to only get maybe 50% of the experience.
Agreed.
And so
wholeheartedly. Yep.
I would say hold off until we're in a much better position. But if you live close and you have annual passes, by all means, like, those are the people I think that would get the most out of it.
That's a great idea. And keep in mind, like, character meet and greets, not happening. The characters will be in throughout the parks, and they say that there's, quote, new ways to entertain and delight the guests, whatever that means. But like, there's no interaction there. The parades have always been great. And I mean, the rides are always going to be the rides. Yes. I think you're right. There's more to it, though. There's definitely that whole magical experience. I always love when I first walk into the Magic Kingdom right on Main Street, and you just walk and boom, there's the castle. Like, that's always such a great moment for me. I've been going there all my life. And especially now with Piper, to be able to share with it. We go a lot during the Halloween time, which is so much fun.
Oh, yes.
And the trick-or-treating and the candy is ridiculous. You will get diabetes directly after that night.
Right.
It's amazing. But it's so much fun, and just and it enhances it even more when you have kids with you. And when Piper's with me, like, we're all kids again, and she loves it, and I love seeing the smile on her face. It's the greatest thing. So you're right. The experience, it's not, if you haven't been, don't go yet. And, and Spencer, this isn't your first Disney cruise, yes?
No, this would be our second.
Awesome. Yeah, because I've been on, I think, 3 of them, and they're amazing. But yeah, man, February's
I don't know.
Right around the corner. So I don't know how that works. I know that they will take care of you, though. I feel pretty confident that they'll be able to work around that, because none of the cruise lines know what they're doing yet. And right now, July 26th is their supposed date where they can start going back. But you also have international country. You have other countries that have different policies. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Our cruise is going to take us through, I think, the Western Caribbean. So like, we would hit like Jamaica and Cozumel, Mexico, and there's somewhere else in the Grand Caymans. And so like, we will be going into international waters, going into other countries. So I have no clue. Now, Matt, you've got a Disney World trip for September still on the books, right?
Yeah, man. Halloween time is also my favorite time to go, Tim. That is the time. Yeah. But like Spencer said, I agree. I've gone every year since Jesse and I have been married. Actually, on average, more than that. I think 6 or 7 times. We've been married 5 years. And then before that, I'd gone every year in college too. So if this were my first time or even my third time, I mean, if it had been a while, I probably wouldn't go. But we are full bore planning on still going on our trip because by then it'll definitely be open and we'll definitely know what we're getting ourselves into by the time mid-September rolls around. And if we were bringing Emmy and Lando, then this would also be a different situation. But this is a mom and dad 5-year anniversary trip only. So
Nice.
that also changes things. But I think, Disneyland announcing now, this is all calculated. And this is exactly what I expected from them. When they said that they were opening Disney World and it was like a month after everybody else is opening SeaWorld and Universal Studios, I said, well, they're waiting on Disneyland. This is going to be a United States thing because they don't want everybody converging on Florida when it opens because there's going to be a horde of people on day one that will go. Yep. They will.
Yep.
And then now you've got the two coasts that are opening within a few days of each other. And that totally eases that burden. This is exactly what I expected. Smart by Disney. Disneyland is a much easier thing to handle. The Fast Pass system, you don't even have to worry about it because it's not like Disney World where you plan your Fast Passes 3 months out. This is Disneyland. You show up and you go get your Fast Pass there. So it's so much easier.
Can I just say that for purely evil reasons, I hope this goes gangbusters and is super good. Only because I bought a whole bunch of Disney stock when it went really, really low.
Good for you.
And so
I'm looking to get in too, but I'm waiting.
You know what? I'm going to tell you this, Tim. I don't know that it's going to drop back down to where it was.
I'm with you. I know. So, I mean, when it was hovering at 100, I was like, oh, I really should get in right now, and I just couldn't. And now it's up, and I'm like, ah.
But I bought in at the low 90s.
Oh, that's where I wanted. That was my sweet spot. Dang you.
Yep.
But one more thing on that, like the whole, if you're going for the first time, I had this experience with some friends of mine when we went down in February for Piper's Cheer. Her cheer team had made nationals, and so they do it in Orlando at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. This is our first year doing it. It's really cool how they set everything up. But part of that, you get 3-day park hopper passes, or 1 or 2 days. I can't remember. But we had gone with a bunch of people from the cheer team, and there was a few of our friends who had never been to Disney World before. Well, the problem is we didn't get our tickets until the day before we were there. So
no fast passes.
All the fast passes were shot. So we had to wait 2 hours for the Slinky roller coaster ride, and everybody was miserable. And I'm like, I promise you, it's not this bad. When you've got a planned trip and you can do your fast passes, it's a glorious time. And I was constantly trying to convince them this really is a great place.
Right.
And I don't know if they were convinced. I mean, they have kids too. I'm sure they will come back. But it's one of those things where it's like, I promise you it's really great. But you're absolutely right. Like at a time like this, do not go if you have never been.
It's like when you're trying to convince your brother-in-law to play the Uncharted collection and he just seems resistant to it.
Seriously.
All right,
he gets
so
one mysteriously from Nashville in the mail. He gets one mysteriously from Franklin, Tennessee in the mail, and then all is right because he ends up playing it.
Oh, gosh. Well, Wonder Woman was supposed to come out last week.
There you go.
1984. Wonder Woman 1984 is supposed to come out last week, and then it was supposed to come out in August, and now it's not doing that either. It's coming out October 2nd. So now you got a choice. You're going to play the Rogue Squadrons game, or you're going to watch Wonder Woman. Or do both. So that's been delayed. I mean, everything this year is just like a big shrug shoulder emoji. Like, oh, no.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
It's coming out this day. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's so many movies have changed. This is not surprising. And they give some good rationale between like the studios and what movies are going to come out and how long they want to be out. Because we've got Christopher Nolan's movie Tenet or whatever it's called.
Yep.
That moved from the 17th of July to the 31st. So I don't know why they did that. It's just 2 weeks, but okay. And they want to give that time to breathe when there's no competition. And they don't want to be competing, just weeks later with their own studio with Wonder Woman. And so they've decided they want to kind of let these movies breathe. So they've pushed it out to October. So whatever explanation you want to believe, whatever explanation there is, it'll change next week. So but that's kind of the latest from Wonder Woman. Matrix 4 has been delayed. Godzilla versus Kong. I know there's probably, I don't know, tens of people looking forward to that movie that's been delayed. So keep your ears open and your eyes peeled because it's a changing.
Nice.
Yeah. From what I understand, a lot of the movie theaters have sworn that they will open up by mid-July. Obviously, it's in a controlled environment, at least 50% capacity, max, maybe. I know I'm working on a film that it's just like a 1 night or 2 night event that's supposed to happen October 12th and 14th. And I'm still curious if that's even going to happen. I think the theaters are going to open up. I don't think we're going to go back to a secure in place where everybody has to stay home. I think people are fed up with it in the first place, and if they do the proper things, they're going to just go out and do their thing. And I think businesses are going to follow suit with that too, because they want and need the business. So I think theaters are just going to start opening up again. I'm really surprised that Wonder Woman did not go to on demand or just went straight to digital. But maybe just because of the hype, because they probably could have made a good chunk of money.
I think DC needs, because the Wonder Woman was their really, really big hit. I think they really need to have big box office numbers to help investors say, yes, let's keep making DC movies at Warner Brothers. And so I think that's the impetus behind it. But I would have loved it if it went straight to VOD and we could have watched it at home. That would have been great.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the theater again.
Yeah.
They're open here. And as you know, I've already been, so I have no problem going. And Wonder Woman will probably be one of those movies that we'll go see. Probably Quiet Place 2 and Wonder Woman will be the 2 movies we'll see this year. Since Ghostbusters is not coming out this year.
Next year. Yep.
Anyway, so there you go.
All right. So here's the last thing that I've got. We've said this before. We're not a sports podcast, although Matt and I both do love sports. And I know that sports pretty much have been on hold everywhere. I mean, I know we're talking about opening up and doing basketball to basically get a playoffs down in Orlando. But they're not going to be playing to crowds. Like, we know, like, you know, safety and security reasons. They're talking about, you know, empty stadiums and whatnot. But I'm going to tell you who's doing this right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's them people all the way across the world in South Korea. The South Koreans have started playing baseball again. And since spectators aren't allowed, what they're doing is they're putting plushie dolls in the seats that are within like camera view. So literally behind home plate, I can see in some of these pictures, Mickey Mouse, Pikachu, SpongeBob SquarePants, a Snorlax, like all these like Pokemon and Disney characters. And what's funny is that they don't just like keep them in the same place. For different games, they move them around. And one game, they had them all like spaced out 6 feet apart from each other to show social distancing. And then over on like by one of the benches, they've got a whole bunch of like cardboard cutouts with like these lays around them. And they've got, you know, them in seats. And then on another place on camera view, they've got all these inflatable character balloons of like Aladdin and Superman and some characters that I'm going to assume are the South Korean versions of like someone from Toy Story or something like that. And it's just a funny way to help kind of give that feel of like, hey, there are people in attendance, or there's things in attendance, so it doesn't just look like people are playing baseball in an empty stadium and it's like some pickup game out on the field somewhere.
Yep.
I love
it's
this.
weird. Yeah, it's weird too, because I've seen a couple UFC preliminary fights and it's just empty. It's like, what a weird thing to be a part of in all that. And everybody who's working it is wearing masks, and then the fighters are out there bludgeoning each other to death. But it's just weird. And honestly, that is the last industry, like sports and concerts and events, that is the last to actually get anywhere with everything going on, because that involves large crowds. Does that change the entire nature of how we're going to watch sports now, or how we're going to participate in watching sports? Like, My brother's a booking agent, and for different he does like books and authors and speakers and and some musical events too. And he's just sitting down like waiting because he can't do anything because nobody can schedule anything out because nothing that big can be open yet. And so it's got to be frustrating for him, and it's going to be weird. But the fact that South Korea is just giving you just a little bit of some lighthearted fun, I think is absolutely brilliant. And they did it before on opening day. They had just a bunch of standees and what a great idea. And now they're expanding more. So now I think everybody's looking to them like, all right, what are you going to do next? What do you got? And I think that's great.
Exactly.
I think that's perfect. It's so smart.
Yeah. It's fun. And I think right now, as we're starting to see restrictions lifting, but we still have to be very careful and things like that, having some levity and bringing some joy into people's lives through this way, it's just brilliant, and it's smart, and it's good for people. So,
yep.
Anyway, that's the last thing I had. Did anyone else have anything else for Rebel Intelligence?
Nope.
Okay. We will move on then. So real quickly, I'm just going to read one of the responses here. So last week we had Charles on, and we were talking about needing more diverse voices in entertainment. And we kind of talked about some people that we are following and highlighted some people we think are doing some really good things to bring some authentic storytelling and storytelling from different perspectives. And we asked the Super Friends, who are some people we should be paying attention to, or who are people that are doing good work that maybe we don't know and that we should shout out. And so we're just going to go over to the email, which is forwardofnerd@gmail.com. We got Peter Christensen. He says, Dear Nerds, we're counting down the days until we can buy Trolls World Tour. That's June 23rd, in case you're wondering. Then we can watch the whole movie instead of rewatching the clips that are available on YouTube. Here are some of my recommendations from diverse creators. My family has started watching the TV show Fresh Off the Boat. It is written by Eddie Huang and is about a Chinese family living in Orlando through the eyes of their 6th grade son. It's a hilarious culture clash setting with immigrant parents and their children that grew up in America. It's like a wonderful cross between My Big Fat Greek Wedding and Everybody Hates Chris. Plus, it stars Constance Wu from Crazy Rich Asians and Randall Park, aka Asian Jim from The Office, so you know it has to be funny. There's a writer I love named Shea Serrano, who writes about pop culture and sports for The Ringer, and has written the books, movies, and other things, and basketball and other things. He's Mexican-American and gives a perspective I haven't encountered a lot. Plus, his rapid-fire style and deep cuts works you like an Apollo Creed up until you can't help but laugh out loud. One of the best partnerships in movies right now is director Ryan Coogler and actor Michael B. Jordan. I love Jordan since The Wire and Friday Night Lights, and he's made 3 movies with Coogler: Fruitvale Station, Creed, and Black Panther. They bring life to a proud, powerful vision of black culture that opened a lot of imaginations around the world. Lastly, the award for finest work by diverse creator working today, Kumail Nanjiani. His 8-pack and veiny obliques. Plus, he's a hilarious comedian, wrote and acted in the award-winning movie The Big Sick, and since everything in the Fortress has to tie back to Community, he was a custodian Lapari in the season 6 paintball episode. Big applause to everyone out there making things happen and enriching the world with their hard work and creativity. Cheers, Peter Christensen. And then he does say, P.S. I made ribs for the first time today and they turned out great. Texas style with no sauce, just salt and pepper. I know they were good because my kids volunteered that they liked them without me even having to ask. Thank you, Malcolm Reed. Peter, thank you for your response. I'm glad that you've got a pellet griller and you're doing the old ribs. But B, I like that in his response he highlighted a few people, and they all have a different, unique perspective. And I think the only one I was really familiar with on this list, I guess Kumail and Ryan Coogler. But I don't know Shea Serrano or Eddie Huang, but they are on my list to go look up and see what they're all about.
Fresh Off the Boat's funny.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes of that, and I was laughing out loud. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just went after it, and that's awesome. Good for them.
It's a good
Where's
show.
that at? Because I'll go check that out.
ABC, I'm pretty sure.
ABC.
Yeah,
I'm
ABC.
pretty sure it's ABC.
It's either ABC
funny.
or CBS. I don't know.
It's like an Asian version of the Goldbergs, but kind of set like in the 90s-ish, I think.
All right,
No,
I'm in.
he likes 90s hip-hop. The kid likes 90s hip-hop.
So it's
Yeah,
got to
that's
be the
right.
90s.
Their kid
Okay.
likes 90s hip-hop. I don't know if he's like, if it's current and he likes it's been a while. I watched like
I
2
love
seasons.
90s hip hop.
It's a funny show. I think you'd
Yeah,
enjoy
it is funny. Yeah, you would like it.
Tim, we like 90s hip hop because we lived through that and we can remember that.
Yep.
Matt's just listened to about it in retrospective.
Yeah,
so it's okay.
I used to DJ that stuff, man. That was
That's
in
right.
college. I DJ'd that, so yeah, it's all right.
Super
We'll let them in the
friends,
club.
thank you so much for your responses this week. I know we didn't have time to get to all of them because we got still a lot of stuff to talk about tonight and we want to get to it. So thank you. We appreciate you showing up each and every week. Matt, how can the Super Friends help us out this week?
As always, listen, like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is that you do on whatever platform it is that you choose to listen to us on. Other than, of course, continuing to watch Queer Eye, which I know you're all doing because it's one of the commandments of our podcast.
Is it?
It's one of the... Yes, I'll say it is.
By the way, did I say I was going to watch something specific last week? Or was I non-committal?
I don't even remember.
Okay, good. I was
It's been a
non-committal.
long
then.
week.
Good.
I don't remember what I don't remember. Anyway,
Okay, just
Go for
checking.
non-committal.
one thing you can do is try and get a better memory, super friends, like we do. No. So the other thing you can do for us this week is go outside and check your propane tank if you got a propane grill, because you might run out of protein in the middle of cooking burgers like I did tonight. So check your propane tank and make sure that you've got enough propane so your dad doesn't have to go home and get his, which also is low, and ekes out barely grilled burgers that you hope you don't get sick from.
Nice.
I love that the Texan on the podcast says propane and propane accessories. Love it.
That's how we do it. I appreciate Peter Christensen
Damn it, Bobby.
preparing ribs and other meats the proper way, which is don't put a bunch of crap on it. Salt and pepper on a brisket.
Salt and pepper, man.
And on
That's what it
ribs,
is.
that's what you do. If you're putting, if you need sauce on your barbecue, this is the Texan coming out of me. If you're putting sauce on your barbecue, your barbecue's not good. It's not done right.
Nice.
It's true. It's
But
true.
Yeah,
sauce is fun sometimes. I'm also not gonna lie about that. I'm gonna be straight up,
Yeah,
man.
sauce. Yeah, sauce like adds to the party if you want it to be. But man,
Yes.
we in our family we are a big kosher salt and pepper and leave it.
Yep.
And
Yep.
you are, and it like with vegetables, anything, just leave it. Maybe with vegetables, a little dab of butter. But oh my gosh, kosher salt and pepper goes a long way.
Let it sing.
Texas style. It's what they call Dalmatian rub.
Dalmatian rub.
Dalmatian.
So that's what it is. It's called Dalmatian rub. It's black and it's white.
I
Yep,
like
yep.
it. I like it.
All right. So this week we had a big event. I know that I was anticipating this. I guarantee that everyone here on the podcast was. Sony came out and they had a big reveal party this last
They did?
Thursday. They did.
We got the
It's
wrong guy on
amazing,
the
right?
podcast.
Yeah, right.
Tim, we're gonna cut you off here. We're gonna call someone
Matt's
else.
like, I immediately regret this decision.
Oh man, I thought we were going to talk about the facts of life in Fuller House again.
That's
Ooh, I'm in.
So Sony comes out and they put on this big conference, and we wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that were announced. Right out of the gates, though, I gotta say, they nearly lost me right at the very, very beginning. And it's because they started with Grand Theft Auto.
yeah.
I went, what is going on? This game was at the tail end of the PS3, Xbox 360 generation.
Mm.
And now you're touting this thing for like, here's what the next generation of gaming on Sony looks like. And they started with that. And I went, what? Wait, that's what we're living in now. Did that strike you guys weird? Did that turn you guys off at all?
I was confused. I'm gonna be honest.
I didn't mind. I didn't mind it because I know that game is the biggest selling game of all time,
I mean, that's true.
and it's constantly every time. So we do NPD sales every month, on our podcast, and almost every month it is in the top 10 always. And that is a 2015 game right now.
Yep.
So it is a monster. So I think they're just giving the monster its little credit. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I wasn't confused by it, but it's like, it could have been something else. It could have been Red Dead 2. It could have been, something else. But we know that they're going to put out that kind of stuff anyway. And I think you just have to pay homage to it because of how massive that game is.
I mean, I don't
would I have led off with
you.
it? No. I probably would have not led off on with that.
I think that's the problem. I didn't.
And that was the
stupid.
issue.
That was weird.
I think what they did was, I mean, I get it, and I get what you're saying, Tim, but like the game they put second, that's the game that should have led off.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That was like, oh, and by the way, boom, here you go.
I know. Here's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and I went, oh, please. I loved Spider-Man.
Yep.
And the Miles Morales bits in it, I was like, oh, man, I would love to see a Miles Morales game. That's what we're getting, or at least a somewhat standalone game. I mean, I think they've said after the fact that it's not exactly a full sequel, but it's also
not a sequel at all.
But it's a standalone, like it's not just like hey, we're going to give you this Spider-Man game plus a couple extra chapters with Miles Morales.
It's like I'm comparing it to a Lost Legacy because Matt, with Uncharted, you would probably know this by now. But but yeah, I would say I'm positioning this as a First Light from Second Son or a Uncharted Lost Legacy. That's how I'm going in. Either way, I am getting that, and because I loved Spider-Man, and I was late to the party with Spider-Man. I did not play it day one. I actually waited until the turn of the year, and absolutely, I think I platinumed that game too. I absolutely love that game. Oh, so good.
I think, Tim, you and I started that game and finished that game right around the same time because I did the same thing. I waited a bit on it just because I had so many other things I was still playing at the time.
Exactly, yeah. Because I can't play multiple games at the same time. I need to take my time with one, and then go from there. So I think I was playing probably Odyssey at the time.
Yeah.
And then moved into Spider-Man or one of those. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. Obviously, they didn't give us a ton, but I'm sure we'll get some more. But Insomniac's been very busy, and so that is fine by me.
And they did say that they're going to be releasing this thing holiday 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So my guess is that this is going to be one of the launch titles. I don't think it's going to be like a month or two after. I think it's going to be available on launch day.
It has to be because I don't know what else they're going to launch with.
They have a couple other things that they're launching.
I'm used to a system seller because I'm used to Nintendo launches where I know I'm going to get a Mario or a Zelda game when I buy the console. I'm still kind of like, we'll talk more about kind of overall impressions, I think, of PlayStation's conference and everything. But I was excited when I saw this, but I was a little disappointed when it wasn't a sequel and a little disappointed when it wasn't like a full-on game. They like want to pose it as kind of a full-on game. They're like, kinda, and then that's all we have. So I don't know. I'm not like, I don't know. That's where I am.
You got to remember though, like the PS4, its launch games, like looking back at it, they weren't very. Second Son. I mean, come on,
baby.
Knack. I mean, they weren't very deep.
Like they weren't deep in either.
No.
But Matt, you're coming from a Nintendo perspective, which I mean, shoot, if you had the Switch with Breath of the Wild, you'd be all over it as well. You know, that's your jam right there, and that's every Nintendo gamer's jam is like new console, mega uber like flagship game comes out as well. And I think we might get a little bit of that, but I think a lot of it is to come afterwards.
Yep.
I honestly think, and I had this opinion, and maybe I was right, maybe I was wrong. We'll never know. But I think if The Last of Us hadn't had the leaks that it had, I think The Last of Us would have been a release title with the PS5.
They could have pushed it. I think you're right. I think they could have pushed it back.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm selfish. I'm thrilled they didn't.
Right? Sure.
Whether or not, like, there might still be some conspiracy theorists out there that saying the leak was planned. I don't know, but I mean, all this was happening in the middle of a pandemic, and they're still putting this game out, and they're putting it out now for us. And so, I think if you would have waited a couple more months, I probably would have gotten more antsy and probably more upset about it. So, but I mean, if the PS5 is going to do what it says it's going to do, and the games on PS5 are also going to be compatible with PS4 Pro, for me, I'm totally fine with that. Because just some backstory, I am not, and I'm still on the fence of this, I'm not planning on getting the PS5 day one.
See, we'll get there because I want to talk about that because
don't jump the gun there, Tim.
I've got some thoughts.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's go.
So
come on, Uncharted.
So
let's go.
Mr. Uncharted. Let's talk about a game that I didn't think I would be excited about. However, the trailer got me kind of hyped. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game. I have one that I got on PS Plus that everyone says is great. But that game looked not only fun, but it looked like, I've seen gameplay of the other ones. It looked like a huge step forward for what we were seeing with gameplay for that franchise.
Yeah, I think this was the first time where I looked at a game from either Microsoft or Sony's claiming next gen where I thought, wow, this is next gen. And it's not like the impressive and amazing graphical leap that we've had with previous console generations, but it's the sheer amount of smoothness and things happening all at once in that trailer of Ratchet and Clank where I went, how can it compute everything so quickly, and there's so much going on, and there's so many colors, and like it was the first time where I went, holy crap, now this is something new, and it felt fresh.
And it's also an Insomniac game.
I know, right?
Of course.
I mean, that gameplay made me break out into hives because there's so much going on, and I would probably lose my mind and be like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Right.
But I did appreciate it graphically, functionality. I love that they included the portal system in this, so you can kind of jump from one place to the next. That's really cool. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game before. It's not really my thing, but we'll see. But when I'm watching the gameplay, I'm like, oh my gosh, there is a lot going on right now.
Yeah. It's definitely one that I went, I don't know that I would get it necessarily for me, but maybe it'd be one of those games like, because I sometimes pick up a game that I go, I kind of feel so-so on this, but my boys would love to sit next to me and watch me play this and tell me where to go and how to do things. And so that may be on like my back burner of like, we'll wait till it drops in price and then I'll pick it up.
And I'm like opposite. Give me it colorful and give me a platformer and I'll buy it, which is why I like Nintendo so much. Give me a colorful platformer and I am sold. Like that to me, if that comes out as like a launch title, then you might have me hooked and I might just say, okay, day one. If it's
no release date.
Yeah, no release date on that one.
I doubt it's a launch title. Gran Turismo 7, they showed that. I don't like racing games.
Does anybody play those games?
Yes.
They always show off these games on Next Generation. There's always a car racing game. It looks beautiful. I will never play it because I will end up in a ditch within the first 5 seconds. I do not play racing games.
Nope.
And then you're frustrated because you lost the race, and no matter how much you try, you're never going to win the thing. Yep, I'm with you.
Never going to finish the race. If I can't drift and pick up shells, I don't want to play it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, though. Yes. And that's the reason they always show it off, because it's a gorgeous... Visually, it's stunning. And if you're trying to show off like the differences between last generation Sony and this generation Sony, you want something like that to show off.
Yep. So it's just a given now. It's like it's expected by everybody.
Yep.
What did you guys think of the trailer for that game Returnal? It was the woman kind of walking around in like the spacesuit.
I thought at first I'm like, and this is going to be very weird. It felt a little like Dead Space to me. It's probably not. It's not as horror, but like I noticed, like the pack on her back kind of reminded me a little bit of Dead Space with the health and that kind of stuff. I loved those games, by the way. Yeah, I'm curious to know more about it. It's it's a third person shooter. I'm in with that. I don't mind third persons at all. It looks like it's going to be very story heavy. So yeah. let's see more. I'm curious.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I'm pulling up the trailer right now because I forgot what the heck this was, which isn't a great sign. If I'm going to be completely honest.
Way to go, Sony!
So,
marketing at its best.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trailer and I still don't remember it. So not important
I watched
to
it.
me.
Yeah, I watched it and I kind of went like, maybe, I don't know. It's one of those things where I just needed to see more of it.
Yeah, we
to
need more.
Really get a feel for it. And so, with no release date on this,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll probably see more of it around E3 next year. So I can wait.
Right.
Square Enix, one of my favorite studios, is doing something new called Project Athea.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about this. It looks like it might be an action RPG type of game.
I was
Maybe.
definitely. This is another one like Returnal. Give me more because I'm not a huge Square Enix person. I did love what they did with Tomb Raider. But I don't play a lot of the Final Fantasy. Although I did play Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Right.
But yeah, I'm curious for this because it does look like a action RPG. But it looked good. Give me more. I need more.
Yeah. We don't have enough to draw conclusions yet. I don't really know.
For me, it was like it looked really pretty, and it was just enough of a drop in the bucket that I was like, ooh, maybe, but I need to see more.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Hitman 3 coming in January of 2021. So this is going to be one of those titles that I think Sony's trying to do this thing where they're going to say, here's all the stuff available in the launch window holiday of 2020, but then we want something that we know has good name recognition to be early into the next year to kind of help probably keep people stemmed over for a little while. What did you guys think of Hitman 3? Are you ready to get back to murdering people?
Always, aren't you?
Mostly.
Sure.
So I know my buddy Gabe is he's been the Hitman guy forever.
Yeah, Gabe
and
loves Hitman.
I played Hitman when it was episodic and really enjoyed it. And I never went back and finished all those episodes. So I might look into this game because I did enjoy it. If anything like it was before, is it enough to draw me in? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But, if that's the intent that Sony wants this is going to be the next thing after the launch that's going to hold people over until our even bigger titles are coming out.
Right.
Will it? I don't know. It does have a good following. I feel like the following has kind of dipped off a little bit because I know some people were kind of upset at how they did those episodics and then they kind of restructured the pricing and everything. My buddy was like, in on it and then got furious when all that stuff happened. He's like, why did they do that? It makes no sense. So he might be a little burned by that, but this sounds like this is a standalone and all in one. It's its own entity. And so, yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it and see, but I do like those games. They are fun. I love how many different ways you can assassinate somebody. And I had so much fun with the first couple episodic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I think it looks good.
We'll wait. That's a wait and see for me. We'll see.
Yep. So, yeah, Hitman 3, I'll tell you what, if January 2021 comes and I've got a PS5 and I'm in the mood for a game, I'll pick it up.
There you go.
I mean,
Sure.
I think I will. All right, Sackboy, the big adventure. Like, this is the character from the Little Big Planet games that I think everyone got, like Little Big Planet or Little Big Planet 2, maybe it's Little Big Planet with the whole Sony PS3 hacking thing way back in the day. It was a game I think they pushed out to pretty much everyone. It's a 3D platformer. It's cute, but
that's it.
I don't see myself picking it up.
No, this looks like a Yoshi game to me. Just really basic, and I don't know. I wasn't interested.
I know that people love this game, love those games, like really get into them, but I always just kind of look at it and go, yeah, I would play this for 10 minutes and then I would probably be bored and I would never put it down, so I'm not going to pay money for it.
Right.
I played Little Big Planet 3 with Piper because I think Lauren gave it to me as part of like a stocking stuffer for Christmas. And we started it and we were both like, what is going on? Like, it was just,
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the creativity of it all, but I was like, I'm kind of lost here. I don't know what's going on. And I think Piper after a while was like, okay, let's just go back to Mario Kart. And
Right.
and we switched up. So yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be, again, we need more. I mean, it's cute, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you the other one that was kind of a little weird to me, but I think I was actually a little more intrigued by was that game Bug Snacks. Where
Yeah, the creators of Octodad. So
yes.
that's something that they've got going for them because a lot of people loved Octodad. I didn't get to play that one either, but it looked weird, but
Yes.
kind of cool, but kind of weird. I'm like, I don't know. Is that too weird for me? I have no idea.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that was my thing, right? Like I see this little like strawberry like moving around. It's like strawberry. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cute. And then something eats it, and the strawberry becomes the arm. And I was like, wait, what? I was
Right?
like, what is it? And they're like, the game is called Bug Snacks. I'm like, okay, this just got even weirder with the name. I don't know what the heck is going on, but it's being touted as you are what you eat type of game. I know nothing about the story. I have no clue what type of game it's going to be, but it's a holiday 2020 release, so that says to me it's a launch release.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is this going to be the next knack then for the
That's
PS5?
what I think.
Is this,
I
think
yes.
you're right. I think it's.
I was
there.
like, this
I
is knack. I'm like, this
Yep.
is ugh.
This was I hated it. I thought this was so stupid.
perfect.
I just like, this is so incredibly dumb. I was texting my brother the whole time. He's a much bigger gamer than me. I barely would call myself a gamer, but I was texting him through this and we were both like, what the fetch is this?
Exactly.
Bug Snacks. Am I understanding this correctly? I was waiting at the end when they were kind of like cutting away. Like I was waiting for like a big reveal, like, ha ha ha, joke's on you. This isn't a real game.
Right.
This is just a commercial
like a foot was going to step on it and squash everyone. And then it was going to like God of War 2 or something. Yeah.
Something like that. And nope, it just said Bug Snacks. And I said, well, that's stupid. Bye. And so.
Did anybody else think that the strawberry looked like the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 strawberry?
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes. Good.
Yep. Let's go on to another one I thought was odd, was the Oddworld game, Oddworld Soulstorm.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at that and I was like, really? Like, I don't remember those games being all that interesting or exciting. And
the trailer confirmed it. It confirmed that it's not interesting or exciting.
I know.
It's exactly right.
It was bad. I went, who is clamoring for this? Everyone I know wants God of War 2.
Yes.
Everyone wants another Spider-Man game. Everyone, like, who's the guy in the back of the room yelling, give us more Oddworld? I mean,
well, clearly he got his way.
Right?
Good for him.
I was like, someone had the ear of someone over at Sony.
I feel like a lot of these games might be more on the indie side anyway, which might be what Sony really wants to do, which is great, of course, always feature new and upcoming people, but is it getting, like, I'm a AAA guy. And just give me the big one. Give me the big monster games that I can just run around in and have a ball with. And a lot of these type of games, they just don't interest me at all.
There was a number of horror games that they showed off that I know I'm not going to go near. I'm not going to go near Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo. Actually, I kind of was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I will get down with a good horror every once in a while. I still have yet to play Until Dawn?
Yeah. Until Dawn. Yeah.
Until Dawn. Because I've seen gameplay of it. I'm like, gosh, that's really one I need to. And I downloaded from PlayStation Plus when it was free. Every once in a while, I just want to have like a creepy game like that. And that could be the game. I don't know. It still seemed a little over the top for me too. So I don't know.
That and
I was
there's
in
a
on that
new-
Ghostwire game until they switched to first person, and then I was like, I don't know. I like
Resident
scary,
Evil
but,
8. Resident Evil 8
I love
they
they
showed off.
gloss over like Resident Evil's not a big deal. Dude, Resident
I
Evil
know.
is a big deal. And I'm
It is a big
sorry
deal.
you don't play those games, but that reveal was sick. That game looks awesome. I will
I'm with you.
definitely be playing that game. I love, in the creepiest way possible, the Resident Evil games. I have not played them all. And because I haven't gotten into gaming until the Switch, really, which allowed me as kind of a dad to reignite my past passions. So I've played the first ones. I went and replayed Resident Evil 4 last year, and it was terrifying, and I loved it. And this looks great. It's super scary, but I'm excited. I was waiting for Resident Evil to be part of this, and then we got it in a really cool way.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I started watching that trailer. I was like, nope, I'm out. And by the time they got to the end of it, and they're like, Resident Evil, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely 1,000% out on this game. No,
Nice.
thank you.
Nice. I'm with you, Matt. I don't play the Resident Evil games, but this one was like, that looks really cool. I know they're freaky, and I probably need to play one because I would probably really enjoy it. But I'm glad that they're continuing on with the Resident Evil franchise, and because it always does well for them. So why not throw another one in there? Everybody loves it. Go for it.
Yeah, and they're going back to their roots with this one a little more than it did with the previous, really like 3 or 4 games, where this one is going to be, it looks like it much more action adventure-y focused, and the last couple were, it was different. But Tim, if you're going to go back and play any Resident Evil game, pick up Resident Evil 4. It's been on like every platform ever, like 1,000 times. It's like Skyrim.
Nice.
It's everywhere on any platform you
Perfect.
could possibly want. I would
will do
definitely
so.
recommend playing that game. It's a longer game than you could think. I mean, it's awesome, especially if you
Cool.
like feeling
Here's the
tense.
deal, Matt.
It's so good.
He'll pick it up if you play the Uncharted.
I'm in.
Nathan
I am in.
collection.
I will do it because I want Tim to have this experience so badly. I will play
Yep.
Uncharted.
Nice.
All right, cool. That's perfect. Done.
I'll tell you another game I saw, and my first thought was Tim Rauter. It was Demon's Souls, which is like
Yeah.
the original game that kind of like spawned off like the Dark Souls and the Bloodborne. And I know, Tim, you were not a guy that was going to get anywhere near Bloodborne a couple of years ago.
No.
And then you just like did everything you could in Bloodborne just a few months ago, right?
Yeah, I was never a From Software person. I never played Dark Souls, Demon Souls, any of that. I had downloaded Bloodborne when it was free on PlayStation Plus and always kept it. And I think I kept it for what? It was about 1.5 years ago that it happened. And when we were doing our Extra Life stream back in December, I'm like, you know what? This would be a good way to kill some time. Let's start up Bloodborne. And had a extremely frustrating experience of the first 4 hours. And then once I kind of figured it out and went through it, man, I played the mess out of Bloodborne. And then not necessarily the same, but going along with From Software, the next game I played after that was Sekiro, which was another From Software game. And
Yeah.
I love, and that is my all-time greatest, most proud platinum that I ever did. I platinumed that game. I love that game so much. Now we're going to Demon Souls, which is kind of, it's going to be way harder. It's not like Sekiro, and it's probably going to be tougher than Bloodborne, but I definitely, I think, want to give this a shot and just see if I can do it, because those games used to scare me because they're always so hard. And I did not, and my whole fear was, it was just fear of the unknown. I did not know what to expect. And once I started playing Bloodborne, and then once I was playing Sekiro, man, it's like, okay, I'm kind of digging these style games. And so I've made a nice little switch to those type of games. And so, yeah, I think this could be one for me. I might be interested in this one.
Nice.
Well, I hope that you record it and put it up on the YouTube channel for Married to the
Yeah,
Games,
man.
because that's probably the only way I'm going to get near that thing.
Yep. All right, cool.
It looked cool.
yeah.
I don't know anything about it, and I know that it was a game from the past, but
Yeah.
I don't know. At first, I thought this was the Resident Evil reveal for a minute. I saw these hooded figures on the ground, and I didn't get it. But this game looks cool. I think it looks cool. We'll
Yeah.
see.
All right, I'm going to give you guys some rapid fire, and you just give me a yay, nay if you think this would be a game you would pick up or not, because these are kind of all the middle of the conference got a little slow and they kind of showed some smaller stuff. The game Stray.
Yeah, looks sick. I'm not gonna lie, that looks sick. I'm excited.
The cat game?
Yeah, dude, with the futuristic robot faces. I have no idea what that game's about, but it looks awesome.
Yeah, I was definitely interested. There, it had like the Mac 2 CI screen basically on it. I was kind of like, ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that yet. I was like, okay, cool.
I looked at that and I went, yeah, I don't want to play a game as a cat. I'm out.
I'm in, baby.
Destruction All-Stars.
Oh, that game looked kind of cool, actually. Was that the racing or like you're in a car?
I'm going to say it's like the Fortnite Demolition Derby game.
Yeah, it looked okay. Yeah. Didn't look as bad as I was expecting.
Yeah, I went, it seems like it's a multiplayer only type of game to me.
Yeah.
So, meh. Kenna, Bridge of Spirits.
Don't remember it.
No, don't remember it. Need more.
I don't remember it anymore. At the time, I remember thinking like, this kind of looked kind of cool, but...
Okay.
Yeah. I think it looked colorful from what I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, this will probably be a game that a lot of Twitch streamers will probably play.
Is that the one that was kind of Journey-esque a little bit?
I think so.
I think that was, and that's what we all said. We were like, is this kind of like a Journey thing? I don't think for me, I think it's forgettable. I don't remember it. Yeah. Give me more down the road when you're ready to release it and we'll talk.
Yeah.
Goodbye Volcano High.
Oh, heck no.
I don't even know what that is.
It was like a game where there was like your dinosaurs going to high school.
It's like a 90s cartoon, like gargoyle style, basically, which is what it should be.
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, no. Okay. Heck no.
All right.
I love for the comedic purposes, the idea of it. I probably will never get near that game though. Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's like really foul and dirty and gritty, then I might listen to it because that would actually be kind of funny. Yeah. I would actually appreciate the comedy of that if it was like really
Trey Parker like and Matt Stone.
Yeah. Give me that, man. Give me some South Park like dirt. Then I'm fine with that. That actually would make it more fun.
Jet the Far Shore.
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah. I completely forgot.
I don't remember this one. I don't remember this one at all.
Godfall. Yep, that's what I thought. Completely forgettable. Yep. Solar Ash. See, this is exactly what I was saying. Like I wrote these down because I was like,
Middle was rough.
Astro's Playroom. I looked at and I went, this looks cute, but I think it's going to be a game that may be bundled with the system.
Yeah, it totally is. It has to be.
Yep. So it's like, okay, this is their...
It's got to be Wii Sports.
Wii Sports, yes.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yes, exactly. Little Devil Inside. I don't remember that at all.
Man, it had that weird animation style, I feel like.
I feel like I like the animation style.
Yeah, animation was cool.
Man, this is terrible.
Yep. We just saw this. NBA 2K21.
Dude, you know I'm in.
You can have it.
I went, why are we showing off sweat mechanics? Like, sweat's been around for like 10 years. Come on.
Yep.
Deathloop. This looked exciting to me.
Yes.
Bring it. Like, of all like the little indie small stuff, I was like, wait a minute. So, we're going to die. We know we're going to die, and we're trying to figure out how to do something different to prolong that.
It's a Groundhog Day. You can't get any better than that.
Yes.
That's awesome. And it's by Arcane Leon too. And Arcane did Dishonored. I'm all in. I played Dishonored 1 and 2. Love those games. And did you notice the blink in this too? There's blink elements in it.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm in. That sounds awesome. That sounds multiplayer potentially?
Maybe. Yes.
I'm thinking it's kind of like what was that other one that Evolve, where you were the monster and then you had seven other people.
Yep.
Do you think it could be like that? I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. If there's a single player, great. But I would probably do this multiplayer too, I need more. But I love Arcane Leon. I think, and it's distributed by Bethesda.
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious about this one.
Yeah, I agree. This one was one that woke me out of the crappy slumber I was in.
Yes.
Finally, I was like, oh my gosh, a game
Yeah.
that looks freaking awesome. But
Yeah.
it left me with enough questions where I was intrigued though, where I was like, wait, so there's other assassons and
Right.
like
Yeah.
what are they trying to do? And am I trying to just escape from them, or am I trying to kill them? Am I trying to run? Like I had questions in a good way at the end of that leaves me wanting. It left me wanting more, and I was sold. And when I saw Bethesda, I was like, okay, this could be pretty good.
Yep. I
The
agree.
art style to me stood out. And
Yeah.
when they kind of finished the trailer and it had their little kind of like logo for the game, I was like, this kind of reminds me of like a movie poster for like a Sergey Leone, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Like
Yeah.
it kind of had that
Yeah.
aesthetic to it. And I went, gosh, this thing, for not showing us much and not giving us a ton of detail, it hooked me.
Yeah.
And I was
man.
like, okay, I think I'm gonna get this.
Yep.
I kind of had the same feels like when I first saw Dishonored, because Dishonored
Yeah.
had a totally different art style. That is such a great game. And I was like, this is totally interesting and totally cool. So hopefully this could be like the next one of that, which would be great.
Yep. The last one I had for the small stuff was Pragmata. Is a game by Capcom. I remember thinking it looked interesting, but now that I'm a couple days removed, I don't remember why I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, this was that weird space one with like the
Oh,
little
is that the one with like the little kid?
Yeah, and it's like not coming out till like
Oh.
2022, and I was like, well, thanks for the worthless trailer. Appreciate you.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
Like, give me
I
a
hate
break.
that, man. Yeah, I hate that.
It'll come out in 2024.
Yeah, if it's a new IP, like tell us a year before.
It was
not,
weird. It looked like Kojima could have made it, like something like really conceptual and like directed by Christopher Nolan too. Like, we want to confuse you and make you really not know what's happening. But
Yeah.
everyone's gonna buy it, and if you don't understand art. That's what it reminded me of, and I was like, hey, fine, I'm out. All right,
Yeah, I don't understand art then.
I'm a simple man.
That's right.
So I think that the conference, and I was talking with Tim Paulin. We were on Twitch kind of watching it because I was still working and I was watching it and I was messaging him. And I told him, I said, this conference needs to start off with a bang with a video game. And they did with Spider-Man Miles Morales minus the little weird GTA 5 at the beginning. And I said, they need to end this thing with a bang for video games at the end. And they brought out a big gun with Horizon Forbidden West.
Woohoo! Bring it. Gimme.
And I went, okay, this, because I was literally like messaging him. I was messaging my brother. I said, God of War 2,
Oh, that
maybe,
would be awesome.
question mark. Because that's what I was really hoping for, even if it was just a little tease. But then they brought out Horizon Zero Dawn, and they showed it was Horizon Forbidden West. And I went, okay, you're going to follow up on a massive game for your system, and you're going to tease at the end of the conference a massive follow-up sequel to that game. That's the way you're going to want to end the conference.
Yes.
On the game side, at least, right?
Yes. Agreed.
Yep.
Oh, the funny thing is, I've never played Horizon Zero Dawn. I've got the digital copy. It's on my
What?
PS4 Pro. It's just a matter of timing. So I'm
Yes,
going
yes.
to play it. It'll definitely probably be played before the end of this year. So I'll get it in 2020.
Oh, good.
But
I will say this. The combat, the battle, the mechs, all that fun stuff is great. The
Yeah.
VO and the dialogue is god awful.
oh,
So you will not
Okay.
like that aspect, but you will get used to it and you will power through it.
okay.
But I loved that game. I think now I'm not a huge platinum trophy hunter, but if I'm invested in games, like I will look at the trophies and be like, oh, that looks good. I platinum that one, I think, too. And
Wow.
I really loved that game, despite the weirdness in the facial features. Like some of the mocap seemed a little
Right.
off, and the VO, some of the voices were just, I mean, I could have done a better job than they did. But all that to say, it's still one of my favorite games to play, and I'm very much looking forward to this one as well, because now there's going to be bigger, badder mechs and all kinds of fun stuff to do. And it was really, really cool. The way that they did all the combat, you're going to love it. So please play that.
Good.
Because I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I have Horizon Zero Dawn. I played probably the first 2 hours, and that's my only problem with a lot of these PlayStation games. There's so much dialogue at the beginning and storytelling, and I just kind of get like, especially for me, as I'm again coming from Nintendo, where there's just not a lot of that. It's like, oh, Prince, you got to save Princess Peach. Okay, now I can play the video game. But and Horizon Zero Dawn was kind of like that, where there's a lot of learning, and I was like, oh my gosh, now I got to do this, and I got to listen, and then I got to sneak around the mech, and I don't know how to pull this bow.
But then again, there are video games like The Last of Us, which is heavy narrative right off the beginning, but they jump you into it.
Well, they cut it, right? It's
yeah.
But you're playing interesting parts of the game, right? You're carrying your daughter and you're trying to run right at the beginning. And you're like, okay, I'm invested. But I'm not gonna lie, you know this one, Spencer. I started that game.
Yeah, it took you a little while.
Like a year ago almost.
Yep.
Oh wow.
And I was like, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the combat. Like I didn't know what was going on. I sucked at hiding. And then I picked it back up, and then there were way fewer cutscenes. I knew what was going on. And so I'm definitely excited about Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West, and I will definitely play Horizon Zero Dawn. I've just heard so many good things about it, but I struggle just because that it when it came out, it was so often compared with Breath of the Wild because they were released on the same day. They were touted to kind of be similar in this open format, open world. Yeah. And I can't, my problem is I can't picture any game ever in the history of games for me, building up to Breath of the Wild. That will always likely for me be the pinnacle of gaming, where I can spend 200 plus hours into a game and not get bored. And so I don't know. We'll see where Horizon takes me. I do want to play it again. I just need to got to get past the monotony of the beginning. You
know what? And since you haven't played it in a while, it's going to suck getting back to it, because I played some of the DLC about like year after I finished it, and I was like, oh, I don't remember what. Right. I got frustrated as well for like the first hour, and then once it all comes back to you,
then it clicks and you're there.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're in the zone, and especially when you're dealing with some of those other mechs and the different beasts that are out there. And what I loved about it is you can use their weapons against you if you were able to, shoot it off, and then you can go pick it up. Like, the combat of that game was brilliant, because it's just there was more things that you could do with your bow, and you can do it in multiple ways, and then you can use their own weapons against them, which is so cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, it was a great mechanic that I think that's what I got the biggest kick out of too. But yeah, man, the some of the dialogue and some of the cutscenes, you're like, all right. I think I actually, especially when it came to like merchants or something like that, I pretty much skipped most of the dialogue. It's like, all right, just show me, what do you got?
Right.
I got impatient. Like, show me what do you have? I don't need a long, drawn out, terrible VO about what you have and what you don't have. Just show me what you got. So.
Which is like a complete opposite experience. With like a God of War, I'm rewatching a buddy on Twitch, and he's never played it, and he got to the first part where he meets Braun. And
oh my gosh.
I was like, oh gosh. I'm like, I get it that he's just like the vendor in the game that you go for upgrades and purchases. I was like,
I love Braun.
But I love listening to Braun more than I care about his upgrades.
Hey, I agree.
I was just like, oh, please give me more Braun. Give me more Braun. Come on. So,
well, I'm curious if he gets to Mimir, like, what's he going to say then? Because you need to sit down and listen to that boy. Because that dialogue is amazing.
He messaged me today, and he was like, hey, how's it going? I was like, it's going good, man. How far? And my next question, how far did you get in God of War the other day? Because I had to bounce. He says, I just got to talk to Mimir. And I was like, man, I love him. And I said, I love him so much. I went out and bought the audiobook version of the game where the voiceover actor that does Mimir narrates the entire book. And I was like,
that's beautiful.
It is glorious.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to Horizon Zero Dawn. Like I said, I got it digitally. I bought, like around Christmas time this year, I bought a PS4 Slim to put in our living room so that the kids can play some stuff.
Nice.
They're playing like Lego Jurassic World and Sonic Mania that I got off PS Plus a while back.
Yeah,
And
all
so,
the
like,
Lego games would be great.
yeah, like they're just kind of getting to that age. But with it came digital versions of God of War, which I already have, Horizon Zero Dawn, which I didn't have, and then The Last of Us. And so I'm holding on to the God of War and the Last of Us, and I'm probably going to give them away on my Twitch stream here shortly, and just going to do a giveaway because I don't need them, and I'm not going to try to sell them. But I got a game out of it and another console. But anyway, so I thought that was a big the Horizon Far West. What was it called? Forbidden West. Yeah.
Yep.
I thought that was a big reveal. I thought they did well. Here's the thing that I want to talk about, though. I didn't think we were going to get to see much, if any, of the actual console.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And boy, they showed it to us.
We got it. Yep.
We got it. Tim, what are your first impressions on this thing?
Of the Dubai Tower?
That's right.
That's essentially what. Look, the hardware, and I've said this many times on our podcast, the hardware does not matter to me because I'm not a frames per second guy. I just want to play my games. As long as they don't screw up and get all glitchy, I am good. So the teraflops and all that stuff, like storage,
the ray
yes,
tracing and
yeah. I don't need any of that. And to be honest, I don't really care what it looks like either because it's just going in on my little shelf, whether it's standing up or laying down. I called it the iRobot console basically because it kind of reminded me of iRobot. Which is fine. I do love the white. The white looks beautiful. I know you can also get it in black, I believe. But
I haven't heard that yet.
Okay. For some reason, I thought I saw it somewhere. But the white is beautiful. It looks really slick. Clearly, there is a disc and a discless one.
Right.
So that's exciting. I'm an old schooler. I have not gone the ways of 100% digital. I still love to go, and I will be doing that on Friday. I'm going to Best Buy to pick up my hard copy of The Last of Us Part 2. And I've always done that. The smaller games I may pick up digital, but so I love the fact that they're still continuing this. We have a disc. That's great. That's the one I will probably get. The controller, the DualShock has always been my controller of choice. I never liked the Microsoft ones. The DualShock just fits super comfortable for me. So the fact that we're getting a few more enhances with the 5 sounds amazing until I can actually feel it. It's great. And as I said before, where I was getting ahead of myself, I don't know if I'm getting this day one right now.
Yeah.
The funny part is that Lauren has always been the one that has purchased the consoles for me, and it's usually for either Christmas or my birthday, because that's usually when the new consoles come out.
Right.
So I have never had to actually physically go out and buy one for myself. So if it does come out at Christmas time, my wife will probably get it for me, and that's great. Mm-hmm. But I am not actively, I'm fine with the PS4 Pro. Let me see how many games I get through until this new console comes out. Let me see what new games we have on this console. I think it looks very new tech, and that's great. But it's probably lost on me because I don't really care. It's just going in my cabinet, and I'll just be putting discs in and discs out and grabbing my controller, and off we go.
Yeah. I switched to about 50-50 for digital and physical this generation. So, Last of Us 2, I'm going to be getting physical.
Yeah.
And I got Final Fantasy VII Remake physical because I wanted all the special edition stuff and the metal box and whatnot. But, God of War and Spider-Man, I got digital. And...
okay.
And so, like I said, I've got Horizon Zero Dawn that's going to be digital. So I've kind of mixed it up. And so part of me, when I saw this reveal, I went, man, the aesthetic of this is not what I would have wanted. But when I saw the disc version, because that was what they showed first, I went, this thing is god awful ugly. why put the disk drive where it is so that like looks like it has this like hump on the side of it.
It's the hunchback. Yeah.
Yes, and I went, why? And then all of a sudden they kind of cut and then they show it rotating again, and then you realize here's a version without it, and I went, an all digital version, and that has some symmetry to it and it looks better, and I went, just for practical purposes, I would get the disc version because I don't know that I'm going to go all digital. And there's something to said for like, hey, I want to give a game to a friend, or a friend wants to give me a game. I don't want to pay $60, but he's got it. Like Josh and I do this, my brother, all the time. He doesn't want to buy Final Fantasy VII Remake because he doesn't know if he's going to like it. I'm going to give him my disc and let him play it and see what he likes.
There you go. Yep.
So for practicality purposes, I'll end up getting the disc version. But the digital looks
you're not
so
happy
much
about it.
better. Oh, I'm not happy about it. And I don't like the white.
Okay.
That was the one thing I said, just give me an all black console.
Yeah.
When they showed off the controllers and the controllers were mostly white, I was like, please just tell me that they're showing off something that they're going to do, but they're also going to have an all black version or special edition versions. Like if they said like, it's white, but we're going to do a black Miles Morales version, like Matt texted me.
Well, I thought that was real.
My hopes up so much.
It's probably what Tim saw too when he thought there was.
You got catfished. One. Yeah.
Yeah. We got catfished hardcore. I was like, yes, that I'm in on. The white one, not so much. But you know what?
I don't know. I like it. I like it. And you know how I feel, Spencer, we were testing about this. I love the all white. I am in. Even if there was a black version, I'm in on the white. I like the uniqueness. I love the controller. I love the design. The console, it's weird looking, but it doesn't turn me off. I'm not like pissed about it. Like,
neither
it's
am
okay. I don't really care. I prefer it to what the Xbox, whatever the freak that thing's going to be called, Series 14 or whatever.
Xbox Series X.
I think they just dropped it to call it Series X now, right?
I don't know
Xbox
why.
Xbox Series, Xbox One.
It's like HBO.
3.
Like, I don't know which one I have.
It's exactly right.
Right.
It's the Xbox Series Max.
Like,
that's what it is.
I don't know what it is. It's a digital, physical copy. Anyway,
right.
Well played.
I prefer it to something like that, where that just looks to me like a PC. I'll just buy a PC if I want a PC. And it's going to be... Anyway, I've got my own feelings about that. But I like it. I think it's cool. I am in. I'm like you both, though I will definitely be getting the disc version. I was excited to see it's a 4K HDR compatible situation because I've got those... You know that I'm a stickler for my visuals from when I watch movies and TV shows. I will choose not to watch a show if it is not in 4K HDR. I'll pay $15 to just buy it online instead of watching it for free because I can't handle it anymore.
Amazing.
So anyway, that's
what we call a snob back in my day, but sure, whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey,
maybe.
It is what it is. Yeah, Jesse's got these DVDs. She's like, Matt, you want to watch this? I'm like, Jesse, this is a freaking DVD. You think this is 1998?
What are you doing?
Like, what is going on?
That's
awesome. Anyway, I'm in.
Cool.
I'm excited. And when they showed, the I don't know. I'm new to this whole like PlayStation thing still, so I don't even know if there's a remote for it. But they showed the remote. The remote looks cool. It's all white and like matches everything, and the headset with the cool 3D technology. I'll probably buy the whole freaking setup if it ends up being a good year financially for us over here at Millennial Jungle Marketing. So
Nice.
We'll see.
The only other thing though that I know we had talked about on Married to the Games was it is a conversation piece because it looks like a router. It really does. It looks like a wireless router. So if you see that next to your TV, somebody's going to be like, hey, what is that? And you're like, well, that's the new PlayStation. Huh. And it's funny how Xbox went to kind of like, they went back to kind of like their old school ways.
Right.
It's very boxy. It's very square. And this is just curvy and sexy and, whatever. And so it's kind of a role reversal. And, like I said, it doesn't really matter to me. I personally think that the PlayStation 5 is going to perform, despite all the specs that we've seen on both sides. I think it's going to perform better. I think it's going to be
so too.
I think it's going to be catered well more to the developer, for ease and for what they want to do, then I think Microsoft will. It's not going to be it's not going to be a huge gap, I don't think, but I think we're going to see better performance with the PlayStation 5. I don't know why, to be honest. I just feel like with the SSD and like everything that they've got going on in there, they know what they're doing, and like their engineers know what they're doing, and Cerny definitely knows what he's doing. Yeah. So it's like I kind of trust him. He's such an uber nerd, and he geeks out over all this stuff anyway. And I think he'll take that into consideration. For me, in the long run, Sony has more games that I like to play. My style of games. They have those big mega story games that hit you. When I watched the Microsoft conference a couple weeks ago, I was like, meh. Like there was nothing that really, really stood out to me. Microsoft still has yet to prove themselves to me with my game style the way I want it. It's not like they haven't come up with that first person game that blows me away like Sony has.
Yeah, their exclusives on the Microsoft side are nowhere near as strong as what Sony
Not
has.
even close. Not even close. And
I think that's a big reason. I mean, it's not the only reason, but I think it's a big reason that after Sony got the lead it did in this generation, that it just continued to extend that lead, is because Microsoft fumbled on the Xbox One right out of the gate. Yep. And then they never really recovered. They never really came out with anything that would say, ooh, I want to go purchase an Xbox because of this game. Yes. Whereas Sony did that over and over and over again. I would, if I were going back and someone said, here's, a Halo game, would you buy an Xbox? I go, I've played a bunch of Halo games, whatever. And then if someone said, here's God of War, would you buy a PlayStation to get God of War? I would have said, here's my money right now.
Exactly.
And exactly. I think that that's really what Sony has going for it. I know a lot of people are saying that they think that this is, that Sony's going to fumble this because they're not going to have cross-play, and that's going to be a big deal, and it's going to turn a lot of people off. And I hear that, and I understand where people come from, but you got to remember that when the PS4 came out, everyone said, it's got to have backwards compatibility. We need backwards compatibility. Backwards compatibility. Everyone wants it. But the reality is the number of people that actually use backwards compatibility is extremely low. And you know what? Not having backwards compatibility didn't really hurt Sony. I think we're going to see a lot of the same thing with the argument for crossplay, is that Sony is so good with their exclusives that people are still going to buy the next PlayStation for the exclusives. Crossplay is going to matter to a small group of people, but it's not going to be the issue that I think everyone thinks it is right now. That's just my take on it. But
yeah, and this is, coming from a perspective of Sony's new market. Like to both of your points, I bought a PlayStation 4 Pro because I wanted to, first of all, it was for Jedi Fallen Order, but that refutes the point that I'm about to make.
Right.
But I chose the PlayStation because of the exclusives that they had. I couldn't have cared less about anything Microsoft was offering me. I couldn't have cared less. And so as I'm looking at the new console generation, it's easy. And I think for a lot of people, that's people like me who either are coming from Nintendo or have a Nintendo console and one other, you're probably going to choose PlayStation. Because if you're a Nintendo fan, it's all about the exclusives. You're not buying a Nintendo so you can play Call of Duty. Even if they put it on that platform, you're not buying the Nintendo for freaking Call of Duty.
No, you're not.
You're not. You're getting it because it has a huge amount of first-party games that are just better than what anybody else can produce for whatever reason. Sony has proved to me that they can make amazing first-party games that, for me, they'll probably never be as good as Mario and Zelda and all that stuff, but they're like way better than what I thought that they were as a Nintendo-only person. So,
nice.
To all your points, I agree. It's exciting. And I watched
Yeah.
Xbox's thing and I thought, wow, this sucks. Like, this isn't just like not okay. Like, this is bad. Like, it was a disaster. And they've got a lot of ground to make up. After PlayStation's conference, I think people were stoked about it. And then you look at this and you're like, wow, this is Microsoft's
The
in
one
trouble.
thing I think Microsoft has for them that I think is a step up from Sony is Game Pass, because
That's
Sony
true.
doesn't really have that infrastructure, and I think Microsoft is really good. I mean, they're a software company to begin with. They're very good at that UI experience and being able to be like, all right, you want to play this game, give us a little money a month or annually or however, and you can have access to all this stuff that's in the library, and all of our new games, boom, immediately on Game Pass, so you can just grab it. I do love that system. For me, again, I'm probably 75-25, unlike you, Spencer, who's 50-50 on digital and hard copy. I do all of my digitals for any, if very, very little multiplayer games like Overwatch, because then I don't have to pop a disc in or do anything. I can just immediately switch over on digital and I can jump right into Overwatch and off I go. But for those story games, like, I will get a disc because I just like having the physical copy of it, and B, I've got buddies that may not know about this game yet, and I love the sharing aspect of it. That's my favorite part of it.
I'll tell you, the only reason I started going more digital is because we had 2 PS4s in the house.
There you go.
I had my launch one for the house, and then I got rid of some games, and I got rid of an old Xbox 360 console, and GameStop was running a killer deal, and I picked up a brand new launch PS4 for like $60 out
awesome.
of pocket. And I took it to my office and I set it up in my office and I was playing video games on my lunch break. And
Perfect.
and so then when I switched jobs, my new job wasn't gonna work out. So I brought it home. And so then I found that if I had the game physically, I could, upload my save to the cloud and then take the disc out, go upstairs, put the disc back in, download back from the cloud down to internal, and I could start playing upstairs. And I realized it was so much easier just to download the game digitally and then just move the cloud save when I needed to, so that if my wife or the kids said, hey, we want to watch TV down in the living room, and my wife would say, hey, I'm going to have my sister over, I'd say, perfect. You guys do that. Enjoy your time. Let me just push this to the cloud real fast. I'm going to go upstairs on the upstairs TV and I'm going to keep playing.
There you go.
That's what pushed me more towards digital this generation.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
So-
that makes sense.
And right now, I've got my PS4 Pro downstairs here in the basement where I record the podcast and where I do my Twitch streaming, and a PS4 Slim upstairs in the main room. So when the PS5 comes out, I'll probably put that down here, move the Pro to the living room, and put the Slim upstairs in our bedroom and have 3 PlayStations in the
There you
house.
go.
And
There you
so
go.
hence why I probably will still kind of go back and forth between physical and digital, I think. It's convenience, really.
Yeah.
Because
No, that
I
makes
hate having to have the
perfect sense.
disc in there in order to, because it's so stupid. You download it to the hard drive anyways, and then it's like, oh, and in order for you to actually play the game, you have to put in the disc just so we can say that we can unlock the digital
exactly.
file.
Yep.
That bugs me.
That extra minute kind of can get frustrating. I get it.
Yeah.
For me, like, I do not have a setup like that. I have one place that's my gaming station, and that's where I go. So I don't need that remote flexibility at all. So.
Right. Well, once you get Lauren into video games,
Yeah. All right.
right,
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
All right,
Exactly.
so here's the question of the week. We'll answer it ourselves, and then we'll ask it to the Super Friends. Did the PS5 show you enough in this conference between games and the new hardware that you're going to pick it up this holiday season? Which my guess is before Black Friday. That way they can capitalize on the Black Friday sales. Tim, what do you
possible.
think?
I don't know. Like I said, I may have Lauren get it for me for Christmas, and that'll be my Christmas gift, as she's done with every other console.
Right.
Yeah,
But if you were going to go out and do this for yourself,
right.
yes or no?
I usually wait. I usually wait a couple months. I want to see. First off, games are the priority. So if I'm still playing, I'll be playing The Last of Us through the summer. I'll probably not through the full summer, but then man, we got Cyberpunk, we got Ghost of Tsushima. There's a lot of games that I want to play, and I don't want to disrupt that until I am done playing the games. And then by then we'll know what other games are coming out in 2021 as well. And if they're PS5 exclusives and I really need them, that's when I'll start considering it.
Yep, that makes sense. That's a very logical approach to it that I can completely get behind. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I'm going to buy it day one, probably.
Nice.
I'll be honest. I've always done that with my Nintendo consoles, and it's just fun to get excited about something. I'll probably chalk it up to my Christmas gift and just say, Jess, don't get me anything, because I don't really... As an adult, it's been less... I always get my Christmas present around Black Friday. That's just how it works now.
That's awesome.
It's the best time for me to do that. But I think... Did it show me enough to do it? Probably not. Am I going to buy it anyway? Yes.
Nice.
I just under the assumption that eventually I'm going to... I know that they're going to come out with something that I'm going to love and that I'm then going to need to get one. And I'm always afraid of being in the position of not being able to get something.
Right, that FOMO.
You're like, oh my gosh. Like right now, like during this pandemic, like what if I didn't have a Switch? Like I couldn't have gotten one. I couldn't have played Animal Crossing. And to me, that sounds like a living hell. Like I have to play Animal Crossing.
I told you what I had to go through to get the second one because my wife wanted to play Animal Crossing with me.
Exactly. And so I think that mixed with my brother probably egging me on and wanting to play stuff with me, like I'm excited about it. It's fun to get excited about stuff. So yeah, I'll probably get it day one. Yeah.
So I have a problem with the look of the disc version, and I would love it to be all black. But here's the reality is it's probably going to sit behind my monitors where my PS4 Pro does now. So I'm not really going to be looking at it. And Tim is right. It's about the games. If it plays these games and the games are just bangers and it's different and better, then that's what's going to drive me to get it. Day one, probably. However, my only fear is, like Tim said, I've got enough games that I'm trying to play and get through. If they say, hey, everything that's available on the PS4 in the PlayStation Store that can play on a PS4 can play on your PS5, because we're not making the leap like we did between the architecture from the PS3 to the PS4. So these architectures, from what I understand, should be easy enough to transition. If they say, hey, you can do all that, then I for sure will pick one up day one, because I know I don't then have to feel the pressure of like trying to like hurry up and speed through the games I'm trying to finish.
Right.
But if they say that's going to come 6 months down the road, then I'm going to wait 6 months. I'm going to wait till I finish what I'm playing.
I think Tim said it right. And you both are right that, there's games for me also. Ghost of Tsushima is like a game I'm way excited about. Like probably more than The Last of Us 2. Like that's more of my kind of game. It's just open, awesome, beautiful exploration, everything that I want in a game. And that's a game where I could see myself sinking in like Red Dead 2 kind of hours. And my fear is similar, that I'm not going to be able to finish it. However, as a Nintendo boy, Nintendo has nothing for the rest of the year. They've just decided to leave us all completely in the dark and just say, screw 2020.
Enjoy your Animal Crossing.
Like, play that for 5 million hours. My fear is lessened. Matt? So
you know why, right? It's because they're going to drop Breath of the Wild 2 next year on us.
I don't know. I have no faith in Nintendo. They have screwed me over so many times.
I'm just pulling your chain right now. I have
but you know what?
I got no idea.
You know what, Matt? When they do though, they're gonna piss you off now, but then they're gonna totally redeem themselves when they come out with the next thing, and that's the nature of it with Nintendo, and you're used to it.
Or Metroid 5, whatever it'll be.
Right, and you're used to this by now, so you'll be fine.
Yep.
You can bitch about it now, and then you'll be all right.
Yep.
So that's gonna be the question of the week, I think, for the Super Friends. Is this a day one purchase? But I have one additional bonus question for the three of us here. What do you think the price point is going to be on the PS5? Because I'm telling you right now, I've got $500 in Best Buy gift card money sitting in a drawer. Man. I don't think that's going to be enough to cover it.
I think you need to add 50 to it. I'm going 550.
I think we need to add another 100 to it. I think it's going to be $600.
You might be right.
I think you're going to get $499 for the digital version. You're going to get $500 for the digital version only. And then if you want the disc, you're going to be looking at $550. I think those are my two prices because they're definitely going to cost different amounts of money. And the digital version is definitely going to be less.
Yep.
And so it may be $100 difference. I don't know. So I may be looking at $500, $600. I don't know. But I think no more than $600. I can't see how that could be.
No, they would shoot themselves in the foot if they went $600.
It has to be between there.
I agree. I mean, you got to remember when the PS3 came out, that was like what, $600?
Yeah, and that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And
it was a huge mistake.
And it was bad, and they fumbled it. However, here's the part of the problem. And we've talked about this earlier when we were talking about the availability of the chips coming out of China and Japan, that everything went on hold, and both Xbox and Sony are looking to the same manufacturers for a lot of very similar chips and very similar parts, and they're having problems with getting enough of the parts they need to put these things together. So, of course, prices have come up. I think with the worldwide shortage in electronics because of COVID-19, I think that if Sony says the disc version is $500 and the digital version is $400, I think they're going to take a bath on the hardware. I think they're going to take a bath on it. So I think that they're going to go higher. Yeah. And I won't be surprised if they say $600 and $500. $600 for the disc, $500 for the all digital.
Yep.
And at $600,
that hurts.
Ooh, it's a lot of money, man.
But keep in mind, Microsoft still has to show their cards too, so we don't know. They could be very equally priced.
Yep.
And they're going to battle for that, and they will probably take margin cuts off of that too, just to keep that price down.
Yep.
I mean, I know Xbox did. They're going to, in this case, they're going to want volume right off the bat because they're going to take a dip in their profits anyway because they're going to cut their margins back just to keep that price as low as they possibly can because they know how fickle gamers can be. And if it's too much, they're going to price themselves out. And then they're going to go back to the PS3 days, and that's when they lost a lot of their install base, and that's when Microsoft took over. Now we have a reversal, and Sony's kind of on top. Are they going to stay that way? Hopefully. Their games definitely speak for themselves, but yeah, I don't know.
So Matt, you said $550 for the disc and $500 for the digital?
Yep.
Tim, what are your price points?
I'm actually right there with Matt on that one.
$550 and $5. I'm gonna go a little higher, and I'm gonna say $600 and then $500.
6 and 5. Okay.
I think they just can't take too much of a bloodbath on the disc version, but I think they're gonna make it a steeper drop of instead of like $50 step down, they'll make it $100 step down to entice people to go digital and to try to sell through more of those consoles right at launch.
If they do that, then I'll do it. I'm not paying $100 so I can put a disc in. I don't see myself doing it.
Yeah,
I will.
I would, or depending on kind of where I'm at, maybe I don't pick it up for the first 6, 7, 8 months, and then we start getting the whispers of here's the slim version, or now we're doing a price drop, that sort of thing too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, I want this thing. I just want to see more of it. I want to get my hands on it. I think we can all agree that that's kind of where we're at. And Super Friends, we want to hear from you. So our question of the week, like we said, is this a day one purchase? You can let us know at all of the normal places. You can email us, fortofnerd@gmail.com. You can get to us on Facebook, facebook.com/fortofnerd, Twitter @fortofnerd, Instagram, fortofnerd, or you can call in that voicemail number, 801-477-7687, and let us know. We will talk about that next week. We will read your answers and we will see what you guys think. And bonus question, if you want to tell us what you think the price points are, we'll talk about that too, because we could be completely wrong. I hope I'm completely wrong. Man, I hope I'm wrong.
$3.99. Here we go.
Yeah, right. $3.99. I'll buy 2 of them.
Exactly.
But Tim, I can't tell you how happy I am that you were able to join us tonight. Thank you so much for coming here.
Yeah,
and
that
being
was
a part
fun,
of the
man.
Fortress of Nerditude.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a ball. It's like this talking with my family members, just hanging out, being nerdy, and I love it. So thank you guys so much.
Once
I appreciate
again,
it.
let's roll out the red carpet for you. Where can the Super Friends find you each and every week? And let us know all those places.
Well, obviously, we're at marriedtothegames.com. You can catch us on Twitter at MTTGcast, Facebook.com/marriedtothegames, YouTube.com/marriedtothegames. And yeah, man, we are every week. Our podcasts come out on Friday. If you're a patron, our Patreon is patreon.com/MTTGcast, I think, or MTTG. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our patrons get it the day before on Thursday, and normally it just comes out on Friday. But man, I think we're about ready to record episode 405, which is crazy. And we just have a good time, and we love having our family gathered around talking video games.
Nice. If you're not following this podcast, go follow Married to the Games. I promise you will not regret it one bit. Well,
thank you, sir.
You are welcome, always and forever. From all of us here at the Fortress of Nerditude to all of you out there, wherever you may be, may the Force be with you, always.